Good afternoon, everyone. It's so happy to be here again. My name is Ibuku Oduride. I'm the Entrepreneurship Program Manager at the Tony Elumelu Foundation. And joining me today, I have Foko and Nadia. I know you're very familiar with those faces. They will be translating French and Portuguese. And Nadia is our alumni. She's been supportive, very dedicated to the foundation, staying with Foko as well. And then I have Adora. Adora is the Entrepreneurship Programs Executive. And I also have Chiemezie Umosu, who is also supporting as the Entrepreneurship Programs Executive at the foundation. And then let me now introduce our special guest, who is going to be taking our Financial Management Reporting 101. I know a lot of people have, sent several emails on, the templates. A lot of people struggle with actually analyzing their financial projection for their business or how to even complete the template. So Shegun is here to give you an overview and help you understand what financial management is, and again, how to navigate the template. So it is very important that we pay attention and we stay online for the duration of this session, because it's going to be very valuable and impactful for you and will help you with completing your financial reporting template for the program, so that you have an understanding before you complete it and upload. So Shegun Malegbemi is a TF alumni, also very supportive, dedicated to the program, has been taking this particular course since 2018, if I remember. And he is an amazing person. So, and he would take you guys through this session and also answer your questions. So if you have any question or if you need clarity on anything, please drop your questions in the chat, and Chiemeze would compile all the questions and Shegun would take those questions. So we're trying to ensure that this session doesn't last more than 1 hour, 30 minutes. So again, I know it's a lot of money spending, buying data to stream live. So we're trying our possible best to, keep it at 1 hour, 30 minutes and ensure that you get the desired learning and understanding this particular topic. So I'll just hand over to Nadia and Foko to quickly translate to French and Portuguese respectively, and then we'll hand over to Shegun to start the session. Thank you very much. And I hope you guys stay online to really listen to this session and get the desired learning. Thank you. Over to you, Nadia. Thank you.
Olá a todos, boa tarde, bem-vindos a mais uma sessão da Masterclass da Fundação Tony Elumelu, desta vez sobre o registro financeiro. Essa sessão será guiada por Shegun. Shegun é um ex-aluno da Fundação que tem ajudado a Fundação com esta parte financeira do programa. Por favor, preste atenção que ele vai guiar-nos no mapa financeiro que vocês todos receberam por e-mail, e ao qual muita gente tem dúvidas. Preparem as vossas questões, coloquem as vossas questões no chat para que Shegun possa responder, ok? O objetivo hoje é mesmo isso. Na sessão também está Ibuku, que é o gerente do programa, a Daora, que é executivo, que vocês normalmente comunicam com ele, e está também o Foko, que vai fazer a tradução para francês. E Chimiese, que é da Fundação, também está na aula. Ok? Mais uma vez, bem-vindos. Obrigada. Foko, over to you.
Bonjour tout le monde, chers entrepreneurs, et bienvenue pour ce nouveau masterclass. Nous allons vous entretenir aujourd'hui sur la gestion financière de vos projets, c'est-à-dire les projections financières et tout ce qui est aspect financier, afin que vous puissiez bien remplir les canevas de finances qu'on vous a remis et de l'envoyer à la fondation pour qu'on puisse analyser votre business plan. Donc aujourd'hui, on va le faire avec Shegun, qui est un alumni de la fondation. Je suis Roland Foko pour la traduction française, comme à l'accoutumée. Nadia fera la traduction en portugais. Et à la fondation, nous avons Ibuku, Adaora et Chimeze qui sont là pour encadrer cette session de ce jour. Donc, bienvenue une fois de plus et n'oubliez pas de remplir la liste de présence à la fin de cette session. Merci. Shegun, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much. Hello once again to everybody. I mean, who knows my name? I'm looking at the chat, and if you heard my name, because still a lot of people are concerned about filling attendance, finding their mentors, right? So if you remember my name, just type my name in there. Let me be sure you guys know who you're talking to. Who remembers my name?
So please, you can drop that in the chat. We want to make this session very interactive. So please just put his name. If you remember Shegun, just write Shegun.
All right. Happy, you are the first person to write my name there. You know what? After this call, I promise you a 30 minutes one-on-one. You know, it shows you're paying attention. Whatever challenges you're having, I will give you 30 minutes of my time. So yeah, that's the winner for the open quiz. So let's jump into it. Now, I know you guys are having a long day, and I know you're going to hear a lot, right? I'm going to start with the introduction, what I think is important, and then I'll go right into it. Okay, let's start. So the class is divided into 3 parts: the financial management part, you know, who cares about numbers, financial reporting, and I'll go into one document, and I think it has been shared. It's very critical because it's one of the requirements the TEF Foundation expects every entrepreneur to fill and send back to them. So it's like, I'm going to give you the jobs for the assignment that will come in your work towards finishing out on the program. Now, what is financial reporting, right? Let me just go straight into it. Financial management, really. Financial management really is a business function, right? It has to do with the decisions you take as a business owner in the everyday course of your business to ensure you have better success and you have higher return on investment. I'll take that again and I'll allow Foko and Nadia define it so that you have it there. Financial management, right? When anybody talks about finances, managing your finances is about is that business function that has to do with making the best decisions based on your available resource to ensure business success and return on investment. Foko, over to you quickly.
OK, thank you, Shegun. Donc, on a commencé par un quiz et la personne qui a gagné le quiz, qui était de savoir quel est son nom, a gagné 30 minutes de session avec lui, gratuite, après cette session. OK, donc nous allons commencer la session de ce jour à travers la définition de la gestion financière. Donc, il dit clairement, la gestion financière est une fonction très importante dans votre entreprise. Ça permet de savoir comment est-ce que les investissements sont disponibles. Les ressources financières sont disponibles pour pouvoir gérer les investissements afin de pouvoir avoir un bon retour de votre investissement, afin de pouvoir aboutir à un bon retour sur investissement de votre entreprise. Nadia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Foko. Ok, então, a primeira coisa que o Shegun quer que vocês levem hoje é a definição do que é o gerenciamento financeiro. O que é que isso significa? O ser para um negócio ter sucesso, é preciso que haja essa componente. Então, o que gerir a finança do negócio é basicamente tomar as melhores decisões, é ser capaz de tomar as melhores decisões relativamente ao sucesso da vossa empresa, para que vocês possam ter o retorno correto e o mais rápido possível. Ok? Atenção, vamos continuar. Não se esqueçam de assinar a lista de presença. Shegun, over to you.
Thank you very much. Now, this is very important. And you'll be like, well, I know what I do. I'm going to break down the decisions you make into 4 major parts, and I'll tell you why they're important. Now, in every business, you make 4 major decisions. You might not be aware. One is the financing decision, and that is, how do you find money? Right. You now make the investment decision, which is, now that I have gotten funds, whether it is grants, it is a loan from the bank, it's family and friends, it's a saving, or it's your savings. How do I spend it in the smartest way? Right. The third decision you make in every business during the life cycle is, now that we put money there, some money has come in, how do I reward myself? How do I reward my investors? How do I reward my staff? It's in fact, it is a critical decision. Having to know how much you pay your people per time. It's a major decision. And finally, the fourth decision you all make in the course of your business is, how do I ensure that the business at all times has sufficient money to manage its daily expenses. Yes, I mentioned 1, 2, 3, but that fourth one is really the bedrock of our presentation today. Over to you, Foko.
OK, donc, vous devez savoir qu'il y a 4 aspects à considérer dans une gestion financière, 4 décisions importantes. La première décision, c'est le financement. Comment est-ce que vous faites pour avoir le financement afin de gérer votre entreprise? La deuxième décision, c'est l'investissement. Dès lors que vous avez de la ressource financière, comment est-ce que vous l'investissez? Donc, il est important pour vous, lorsque vous êtes dans une entreprise ou bien lorsque vous faites un projet d'entreprise, de savoir d'où viendra l'argent et surtout, comment est-ce qu'on va utiliser cet argent. La troisième chose, c'est que, ayant obtenu de l'argent et l'ayant investi, comment est-ce qu'on fait pour récompenser les gens qui ont mis de l'argent? Ça peut être les actionnaires, ça peut être les banques. Est-ce que les dividendes qu'on réussit à générer avec le projet sont suffisants pour les contenter? La quatrième chose maintenant, c'est le fonds de roulement, le fonctionnement de l'entreprise. Il est question que la gestion financière vous permette de prendre des décisions importantes afin qu'il y ait toujours de la liquidité pour faire face aux charges et que votre entreprise soit équilibrée. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Então, normalmente, quando se está a fazer negócio, há 4 decisões financeiras que se tem que tomar como gerente. Okay? A primeira decisão tem a ver com como obter o financiamento. Você tem que decidir se vai buscar da família, se vai buscar do amigo, se vai buscar do investidor, se vai buscar o banco, o que for. A segunda decisão tem a ver com o financiamento, perdão, essa é a primeira decisão, o financiamento, a segunda decisão tem a ver com o investimento. Uma vez tomado, já tem o dinheiro, qual é a forma de usar esse dinheiro de forma inteligente para que tenha sucesso, ok? Portanto, a decisão de investimento. A terceira decisão tem a ver com a recompensa, ok? Vocês já investiram, estão a obter o dividendo, agora como recompensar a vocês mesmos, como recompensar a vosso staff ou trabalhadores, como recompensar aos investidores que vos deram dinheiro. Portanto, isso também é uma decisão a se tomar. A quarta decisão tem a ver com o capital de giro, tem a ver com as despesas que vocês têm, portanto, é a decisão que tem a ver com o funcionamento da empresa.
Okay.
Shagun, over to you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to go a bit faster because this is just the early stages, right? So we're just going to go faster. Now, I've talked about the financial decision. Now, there's a part of financial management that has to do with reporting. And what is financial reporting? And this is where TEF is very, very particular about. I mean, they're very big on governance, on control, on discipline in managing your business, because it's this discipline that helps you become successful. One major part is financial reporting. What is financial reporting? Financial reporting simply means giving all your relevant stakeholders an accurate, unemotional, unbiased view of your company's financial position using numbers. You know how they say numbers don't lie, right? Using numbers in a predefined, nationally accepted structure. The reason is because they want it that whenever anybody looks at these numbers, they can accurately say, based on this number, whether it's Japanese, American, European, Asian, they see that based on international standards, this is the state of your business at that point in time. Over to you, Fogo.
OK, qu'est-ce que c'est que le rapport financier? Une fois que vous avez mis en place de bonnes décisions pour la gestion financière, vous devez savoir que vous devez rendre compte. Vous devez rendre compte fidèlement aux actionnaires de l'entreprise. C'est pour ça qu'on va vous donner des modèles de rapports financiers. Et ces rapports financiers doivent être faits dans des modèles prédéfinis et internationalement reconnus, au point où que ce soit des Japonais, que ce soit des Américains, des Ghanéens, des Sud-Africains, des Brésiliens, bref, que ce soit n'importe quel investisseur ou actionnaire qui puisse être capable de lire vos chiffres, parce que les chiffres ne doivent pas mentir. Les chiffres ne mentent pas. C'est ça le rapport financier. Comment tu veux, Nadia?
Thanks, Fogo. Então, o registro financeiro, o relatório financeiro, que é basicamente dar aos partes interessadas, seja investidor, seja os sócios, o que for, como é que a vossa empresa está financeiramente. Usando um modelo já definido, ok? Existem modelos que se usa, que esses números apresentam, dão a entender às partes interessadas como é que o vosso negócio está e muito mais além disso. Shagun, over to you.
All right, I like the pace of things. Now, this, I mean, you're going to see this slide, you're going to have access to this document, right? There are reasons why you do financial reports, right? It's required by law. It helps you know the state of your business per time. It helps you know your achievements, your performance, whether good or bad. It helps you with effective decision-making, right? Concerning your company objectives. So for example, if you have 3 product lines, if you are selling 3 different products or you are giving 3 different services, you're able to see which one brings up more money. And then by the time you know which one gives back more money, you can say, should I put in more money into that part of the business so that that business can grow bigger? Or do I now say, okay, let me reduce the amount I even give that part of business and give the other part of the business so that they also do well? Again, it's about objectives and strategies, and it could be varying. There's no one template, right? But it helps you make that decision. It also helps you, show some sense of accountability, which is critical when you're looking for future funds. Over to you, Foko.
Oui, maintenant, il est aussi question de savoir à quoi sert. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on doit avoir des rapports financiers? Il y a plusieurs raisons. La première raison est légale. La loi oblige toute entreprise à avoir ses rapports financiers. Et votre propre organisation doit intégrer cela. Vous devez faire des rapports financiers tout le temps. Il est aussi important de noter que ça doit se faire de façon périodique afin d'indiquer les performances de l'entreprise et jusqu'où est-ce que l'entreprise en est en termes de chiffres. Ça aide aussi à maîtriser les engagements et en maîtrisant les engagements, vous pouvez facilement prendre des décisions pour la suivre et l'atteinte des objectifs stratégiques de l'entreprise. Ça permet aussi de savoir exactement comment est-ce qu'on avance et qu'est-ce qui reste à faire pour la suite. Enfin, les rapports financiers permettent aux actionnaires de prendre confiance et d'avoir des raisons de mettre encore de l'argent au sein de l'entreprise. Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Então, por que nos interessa manter relatórios financeiros, registros financeiros? Isso nos interessa porque, em alguns casos, porque é necessário por lei, é um requisito da lei, dependendo do quanto o capital social da empresa. Mas é também porque pode nos ajudar a tomarmos estratégias, decisões acerca do negócio. Qual é a estratégia a obter? Se é um produto ou um serviço que vende mais. Como fazer para mudar? Se é um serviço ou um produto do teu negócio que não vale a pena, que não está dando lucros, pode deixar de lado, avançar. Portanto, nessas tomadas de decisões. Também ajuda a estar preparado para, no futuro, em caso vocês pretendam pedir, buscar financiamento, muitos financiadores pedem relatórios financeiros, pedem para saber qual é a saúde financeira da empresa. Shagun, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to literally just skip this slide, right? Because we have so much we need to learn today, right? Now, there are 4 value books which are internationally recognized, right? And help you, your stakeholders require of you. There's what they call the balance sheets, there's the income statement, there's the equity change document, and then there's the cash flow document. I will explain this in the next couple of slides. But remember, these 4 major books that are, you have so many ways of reporting, but there are 4 expected books. And if the regulators call you or the tax man comes to you or your investors ask for anything, they basically ask for 4 books, right? The balance sheet, the income statement, the equity change document, and the cash flow statement. Over to you, Foko.
Oui, pour continuer, nous devons vous présenter 4 documents importants, 4 états financiers importants de votre entreprise. On a le bilan, on a le compte de perte et de profit, encore appelé compte de résultat ou compte d'exploitation prévisionnelle. On a l'état de modification de capital et on a enfin le, comment on appelle, cash flow, le tableau financier. Donc voilà 4 documents importants que vous devez normalement avoir au sein de votre entreprise. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Portanto, há quatro livros financeiros que qualquer empresário deve ter, que os investidores normalmente pedem. Um é a folha de balanços, o outro é o fluxo de caixa, o livro de equidade e o relatório de vendas e fluxo de vendas. Okay? Portanto, são esses 4 livros que devem ter sempre disponível. Shagun, over to you.
Okay, so this I will explain very quickly because for many of you, you will see some of these terminologies, but because you're not conversant with it, it is important that I explain some of it. assets are things you own, things that belong to you, not to you as a person, but belongs to the company. Remember, I'm sure you've already gone to that stage where you know you are different from your company is different from you. The company is a legal entity. So assets are things that belong to the company. Liabilities are things the company owes to people, right? Revenue is the money you make, right, from your business activities. Equity is like the owner, how the company is owned, like the ownership of the company by different individuals. It's called equity. Capital is the initial money that is put into the company or that is brought into the company at certain stages in the company's life, right? In bulk. Interest is the money you pay on a loan, right? Cost of goods sold is different from total expenses, right? Cost of goods sold is the actual amount that is used for creating a product. For example, if you make shoes, if you're a shoemaker, right, the cost of the leather, the sole, the gum is the cost of goods sold. But there's also a total expenses, which includes the cost of goods sold and things like power expenses, transportation costs, staff salary, cost of labor. All that is your total expense. So in accounting, we try to separate both of them. And I thought it was important for you to know that, right? And then it's what they call the net profit, the net loss, or the gross profit and gross loss. Your gross profit is everything that comes into as part of the revenue. Then there's the net profit, which is the profit you make, right, after you've removed your total expenses. Now, we all know that profit and loss are like almost the same, opposite things, right? Profit is when you make more than you spend, and loss is when you spend more than you make. I just thought it was very important for you to get these few concepts before we go in. Over to you, Foko.
Oui, il est important pour avancer qu'on partage avec vous certaines terminologies du monde financier, comme par exemple l'actif. L'actif, c'est tout ce qui appartient à l'entreprise. Ici, quand on parle d'entreprise, ce n'est pas l'individu, parce que l'entreprise, c'est la personne morale. Le passif, liability, le passif, c'est tout ce que vous devez à d'autres personnes. Parce qu'effectivement, pour avoir l'actif, on a pris quelque part. C'est ça qu'on appelle le passif. D'où vient l'argent qui a servi à acheter les biens de l'entreprise. Le revenu, c'est le chiffre d'affaires, les ventes. Quand on a une activité, ça génère des revenus, ça génère des ventes. L'equity, c'est les participations, les actions. Tous ceux qui ont mis de l'argent et à qui la société appartient, il y a une façon pour eux de mettre de l'argent. Ça s'appelle l'equity, ce sont les actions, tout ce qui appartient aux propriétaires, combien est-ce qu'ils en ont. Le capital, maintenant, le capital, c'est l'argent qu'on met au départ. Et cet argent, bien évidemment, est mis par ceux qui ont l'equity, donc c'est mis par les actionnaires, les propriétaires de l'entreprise. Le coût direct des biens est totalement différent de toutes les charges de l'entreprise. Le coût direct ici, par exemple, si vous devez faire du chocolat, dans le coût direct, on peut dire c'est le prix du cacao. Mais les charges totales de l'entreprise vont tenir compte, en plus des coûts directs, c'est-à-dire le prix du cacao, ça va tenir compte, par exemple, des salaires, du coût du transport, bref, de toutes les autres charges qui permettent à l'entreprise de fonctionner, les impôts, les taxes et tout ça. Et pour finir, nous avons maintenant le revenu brut et le revenu net. Le revenu brut ici, lorsque vous avez fait votre compte de pertes et profits, il y a à la fin un résultat qui est la différence entre le chiffre d'affaires et toutes les charges. Ça s'appelle le revenu brut. Et le revenu net maintenant, c'est exactement ce qu'on donnera aux propriétaires de l'entreprise après avoir retiré un certain nombre de choses, par exemple comme les impôts. Donc voilà un ensemble de terminologies qu'il est important que vous maîtrisiez pour la suite. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Portanto, para vocês conseguirem trabalhar nesse modelo financeiro, é bom que conheçam esses termos comuns, ok? O que são esses termos? Os ativos. Ativo é tudo aquilo que a empresa tem, ok? Seja dinheiro, seja propriedades e por aí. Enquanto que a dívida é tudo aquilo que a empresa deve a alguém ou deve a outro. Interesse é quando a empresa tem dívidas e tem como é que diz, o juro que se tem que pagar. Portanto, o interesse vem acima do custo, do valor a ser pago. Nós temos também o custo, o custo próprio, ou seja, o custo da matéria-prima, ou do fazer o produto. Seja o produto, por exemplo, se for um bolo, é tudo que está associado a fazer o bolo. Enquanto que a despesa total já inclui o custo de fazer o bolo, mas outros custos fixos. Por exemplo, o salário, a luz, água, a internet e por aí. Okay? Então, há que separar o custo próprio de despesa total. O lucro é tudo aquilo que a empresa gera da venda. Mas a venda tem o lucro. Mas o lucro, perdão, a receita é tudo aquilo que a empresa vende e ganha pelo serviço ou produto que faz. Mas é importante separar a receita do lucro, okay? Que lucro é diferente. Equidade, o que é? É basicamente aquilo... ok. É basicamente aquilo que a empresa tem como ativos ou como bens da empresa. O capital é o dinheiro, como já sabemos, e em termos de perdas, nós temos o lucro, nós temos o lucro grosso, que é o lucro líquido, ou perdão, é diferente do lucro líquido. E nós temos o ganho, que pode ser também bruto ou líquido. Okay? Portanto, esses são os termos que vocês têm que familiarizar para poder resolver o mapa financeiro. Shagun, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so now it's getting interesting. Now I'm going to do definitions. If you are still following me, I want you to say yes on the group chats. If I'm going too fast, say scream slow down so that we know how to slow down, right? But I'm listening, I'm seeing your messages. Don't hesitate to drop it so we can know if you are following us closely. Okay, so next is definition of what these books are. Now, the balance sheet is simply a snapshot. So when you say a snapshot, it's like it's an accurate, instant definition of the state of the company at that point in time, right? It's snapshot, instant. If I wake up now, what is the state of business now? It can change in 10 minutes, it can change in 1 hour, it can change in 1 year. But at that instance, right, the balance sheet shows all your assets, which is all the company owns, not all you own now, not your personal car, no. All the company owns versus all it owes, which includes the liability plus taking of the asset plus the equity, sorry. You can say, equity is the money input to the business. No, equity was given by Shagun, the person, to Shagun, the business. So the business, Shagun, the business, owes Shagun, the person, money. So that is equity. So it's like a liability as well. So everything the company owns and everything the company owes at a particular point in time. People say it helps you understand the financial health of your company at every point in time. Foko, over to you, please. Hello?
Oui, le premier tableau, le premier état financier qu'on va vous expliquer, c'est le bilan. Vous devez savoir que le bilan, c'est une image de votre entreprise à un moment bien précis. Généralement, c'est en fin d'année, on peut avoir des bilans d'ouverture, des bilans de clôture, donc en début d'année ou en fin d'année. Dans le bilan, vous avez deux parties principales. On a d'un côté l'actif et de l'autre côté le passif. L'actif, maintenant, va contenir tous les biens de l'entreprise. Ça peut être les biens durables ou des biens non durables. On appelle souvent l'actif permanent ou l'actif circulant. Et de l'autre côté, on a le passif. Le passif va tenir compte de tout ce qu'on a eu comme endettement et bien évidemment de ce que les actionnaires ont mis au sein de l'entreprise, ce qu'on appelle les equity. Qu'est-ce que les propriétaires de l'entreprise ont mis comme argent au sein de l'entreprise? Et au-delà de ce qu'ils ont mis, quels sont les autres engagements financiers? Ça peut être les dettes, ça peut être les dettes auprès de la banque, ça peut être les dettes auprès des employés, auprès de l'État et ainsi de suite. Donc voilà, de façon très succincte, c'est que le bilan. Le bilan, c'est un état où d'un côté, on a l'actif qui contient tous les biens qui appartiennent à l'entreprise et de l'autre côté, on a le passif qui contient tout ce dont l'entreprise doit à des personnes. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Ok, o primeiro livro é o Folha de Balanço, ou Balancete, que é um livro que basicamente dá a entender a saúde financeira da empresa, porque ele vai fazer uma comparação entre os ativos da empresa e as dívidas da empresa. Onde o ativo é tudo aquilo que a empresa possui, seja em dinheiro, seja em propriedades e tal, como já tínhamos falado, e a dívida é tudo aquilo que a empresa realmente deve. Se tem dívida com fornecedores, se tem dívida, tem crédito no banco e por aí. Portanto, olhando para o balancete, a pessoa já consegue dizer se essa empresa tem saúde ou não. Chegam over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I see your responses. I see people are following me closely. Now, this is what a balance sheet looks like. I'm not going to go too deep. All I'll say is that if you look at it, and I'm saying this so that in case anywhere you see it, you're not scared of what you see. You can just look at it and smile and like, I know this thing now, right? A balance sheet is structured in such a way that all your assets are put together, which is, remember, all the company owns. Now, this is year 1, year 2, it could be month 1, month 2. It doesn't matter how the duration is. But at the day this report was created, all the assets on the top and all the liabilities at the bottom. Now, if you look at it, I'll just make 2 comments, make your highlights. In balance sheets, it starts from your most liquid assets to your least liquid assets. So this is cash, and then this is capital assets, like non-movable assets, right? And then your liability is the same way. It starts from the things you owe that must be paid out quickly to the things you don't have to pay quickly, which is, for example, loans. So it starts with your daily expense that you have to make. Then it goes to your loans, which they can call you every time. And it goes to the equity, shareholder equity, which is at the bottom. So that's how it's broken, from your most liquid to your least liquid assets, from your most liquid liabilities to your least liquid liabilities. And that is how a balance sheet is structured. We'll see it as we go on in the presentation. Foko, over to you, please.
Okay. Segun, you know that Francophone is exactly the reverse. It's not the same way. It is the most liquid is down. Ok, donc je précisais que voilà un exemple de bilan. Comme vous avez vu, d'un côté à gauche, nous avons les rubriques. Dans les rubriques, on a en haut les actifs et en bas le passif. Et puis, année après année, ça c'est les bilans prévisionnels. On met maintenant les chiffres année après année, les prévisions année après année, année 1, année 2, année 3, année 4. Donc, j'ai précisé que dans les environnements francophones, le bilan est constitué tel qu'à l'actif, on met en haut les biens les plus lents à sortir et en bas les biens les plus liquides. En anglais, c'est différent. Donc, les plus liquides dans le monde francophone, c'est en bas. Donc, généralement, en bas, on met l'actif circulant. Et en haut, on met l'actif permanent. Vous allez avoir le matériel et ainsi de suite. Bon, on va rapidement. Et dans le passif, c'est pareil. En bas, dans le passif, on met le passif permanent, comme par exemple le capital, les actions et le compte courant. Et en bas, donc en descendant, on met ce qui est moins permanent. Pour à la fin, en bas, on met ce qu'on appelle le passif circulant. Donc, ça peut être de l'argent qu'on doit à la banque ou bien de l'argent qu'on doit aux employés. Donc, voilà comment le bilan est constitué. D'un côté, l'actif, de l'autre côté, le passif. Et quand c'est prévisionnel, année par année, vous dites ce que vous prévoyez comme projection faire dans le futur. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Então, esse é o exemplo de um balancete, como é que é demonstrado. Aqui está por anos, pode também ser por meses, esse tem que ser períodos de tempo, ok? O que é que podem reter aqui? É que em cima ficam os ativos da empresa e embaixo ficam os passivos e a equidade, ou seja, o capital próprio, ok? E outra coisa aqui a manter é que, normalmente, os ativos mais líquidos, ou seja, mais showroom, com mais valor, como, por exemplo, o dinheiro em mão, conta no banco, por aí vem em cima, depois as coisas menos líquidas, os ativos menos líquidos vêm embaixo, seja inventário, seja pagamentos para receber e por aí. Para o caso dos passivos é a mesma coisa. Os passivos mais líquidos em cima e os passivos menos líquidos embaixo, ok? Então, essa é a regra básica a manter. Second, over to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Also, thank you for the feedback, Foko. I think it will guide my talking to the team. Now, next, income statement. Income statement shows you your financial performance, or rather, it shows you your business performance. So financial and business, let's just accept that. Right? Income statement shows you your business performance, listing your sales and your expenditures. With this, in an instant, you can know how much profit you are making or how much loss. So, yeah, very clear, very straightforward. Foko, over to you, please.
Oui, le compte de perte et profit SM. D'un côté, vous avez ce que vous avez vendu, c'est-à-dire le chiffre d'affaires, et de l'autre côté, vous avez les charges. Bon, c'est vrai qu'en termes de chiffre d'affaires, d'après la comptabilité, il y a un certain nombre de rubriques qui rentrent en jeu et qui constituent toujours les revenus pour une entreprise. Et de l'autre côté, vous avez la liste de toutes les charges. Dans le modèle qu'on vous a donné, vous aurez les détails. OK, over to you.
Thanks, Foucault. Então, o segundo livro, como nós estávamos a dizer, é o livro de demonstração de resultados. Ele normalmente mostra o desempenho financeiro em termos do que a empresa tem feito. Ele apresenta a lista das vendas e também dos gastos. Okay? Chegam over to you.
Fantastic. So we're moving faster, right? Now, this is what it looks like. Based on the feedback, it might vary from country to country, but this is generally, if you see a profit and loss statement or your income statement, this is the way it's structured. At the very top, you have all your revenue. Then after your revenue, you know your total revenue, you now deduct your direct cost. Remember, we talked about cost of goods sold, right? Any income statement will first show you how much comes in. Then it will tell you, okay, this is how much was. It will now deduct how much you use for production of the item, right? And then below, you now start deducting all your other expenses. After that, you can now know what is your operating profit. If you look at most of those statements, at the bottom, they now take out things like your tax, your interest expenses, right? At the very bottom of every income statement shows you the actual profit, net profit state of the business. And this is what it looks like generally. You would see one very shortly. So let's just go ahead. Foko, over to you, please.
OK, pour ce qui concerne le compte de perte et profit, encore appelé compte de résultat ou compte d'exploitation prévisionnelle, vous avez d'un côté, comme on vous a dit, tous les produits. Les produits, ça veut dire qu'est-ce que l'entreprise fait et qui permet d'être vendu afin d'apporter de l'argent dans l'entreprise. Dans le cadre, par exemple, des activités commerciales, on parlera des ventes et dans le cadre des entreprises industrielles, on parlera de production. Et je vous ai dit, il y a certaines subtilités en termes de comptabilité, il y a des détails parce qu'il y a un ensemble de revenus qui sont dédiés à une entreprise. En bas maintenant des revenus, vous avez toutes les charges d'exploitation. Comme charges d'exploitation, vous avez les matières premières, vous avez les consommations, vous avez les salaires, vous avez les amortissements qui sont des charges non déquistables. Bref, vous avez tout un ensemble de charges et ces détails-là, vous les avez dans le canevas qu'on vous a fourni. Et retenez que justement, l'intérêt du compte de résultat, c'est de déterminer le profit ou la perte que l'entreprise a fait. Et généralement, en la dernière ligne d'un compte de résultat, on a donc justement le résultat en termes de profit ou de perte. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Então, olhando ainda para exemplo da demonstração de resultado, nós temos aqui por anos, de novo também pode ser apresentado em termos de meses. Veem que aqui em cima nós temos a receita, ok? E depois, a seguir, nós temos o lucro. É importante separar a receita do lucro. A receita é tudo aquilo que se vende, tudo aquilo que se recebe do cliente, mas o lucro é depois de se extrair as despesas, ok? Então, nós temos aqui a receita e depois temos o lucro grosso, que pode entrar como os salários, renda, aluguéis, pagamento de marketing e por aí, e outras coisas, e depois nós temos o lucro da operação, ok? Portanto, este é como uma demonstração de resultados é apresentada. Chegam, over to you.
All right. Okay, one step forward. Now we're going to, I see some questions around how do you build this in terms of the assignments. We'll get there very shortly. Just keep those questions very close to your chest. Next is, what is the cash flow statement? Cash flow statement just shows the liquidity of your company. What do I mean? It shows how often or how regular money comes in and how it goes out. It shows It tracks all your cash movements within the company. And this is critical. Somewhere in your head, just write it, critical. Cash flow statement is very, very critical. Over to you, Foko.
Oui, le prochain tableau, c'est le tableau de trésorerie ou le tableau de cash flow, capacité d'autofinancement. Donc, vous devez savoir, c'est un tableau très critique parce que c'est ce tableau ou cet état financier qui permet de savoir si l'entreprise a les liquidités pour faire face à tes engagements. Donc, c'est très important pour vous de savoir le calculer. Il y a une question, il y a des gens qui posent des questions comme par exemple, comment faire pour avoir tout ça? Justement, on va y arriver et on vous a envoyé un fichier pour vous aider à faire tous ces calculs-là automatiquement. C'est pour ça qu'il est important déjà pour vous de comprendre toutes ces notions-là. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Então, o terceiro livro é o livro de fluxo de caixas. Esse livro é crítico, gravem na vossa cabeça, porque ele demonstra, ele dá a entender a liquidez da empresa, ok? É um livro que vai marcar, vai registrar todos os movimentos, o que sai e o que entra na empresa. Depois, no decorrer, vão entender melhor como é que se faz isso. Chegam, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. What does it look like? Again, it's very, very simple. The amount that comes in versus the amount that goes out. I'm going to skip this page so that we don't waste time. Let's just go to the next one. Now, this is very important. Now, I know many of you have heard this thing, all right? And Foka and Nadia, maybe you can just come and explain this page when I hand over, right? You've heard this statement: revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is king. You can literally lift this up and ascribe it to your books. So the balance sheet shows you the state of the company. And sometimes some of you have so many lands, properties, vehicles, and it looks as if you have a massive balance sheet. And so, yes, it looks good, but that is really vanity. Profit is sanity. Also, your profit and loss statement, right? Your income statement. It shows you how much more money you're making than how much you're spending. And if it's positive, you have peace of mind, right? So your profits, your income statement, your profit and loss statement is sanity. But king, the most important book you should pay your attention, the most important book you should pay your attention to at all times is your cash flow statement. That really is king. First one is ego. The second one helps you know why you're in business. It gives you reason and you have peace of mind with yourself, saying, yes, I went into the right business. But it is that third that really keeps your door open. And I'll quickly pause to explain why it's very important. Many times, most of you have, imagine if you have, again, let's assume you're a fish farmer, you bought the land, you have all your equipment, you bought your fingerlings, but because you've spent all your money on this heavy asset, you don't have running operational cash to feed your fingerlings, to feed the fish in the farm. You know what will happen? They will die of hunger. You close down the company. You'll be running around looking for where to get a loan or where to get money from, right? And every time your fish die, you go, you get money, you come back, you buy more fish, you don't have cash. You'll just be running a loss-generating business. So it's always very important. No matter what, always ensure you pay your eyes or your attention to your cash flow statements. Over to you, Foko.
Donc, nous allons ici partager un adage qui dit ceci. Vendre, c'est de la vanité. Faire du profit, c'est être en santé, c'est sanitaire, mais le plus important, c'est le cash. Le cash, c'est le roi. Avoir du cash, c'est être le king, c'est être le roi. Ça, c'est Alan Mintz. Donc, ça veut tout simplement dire que vous devez toujours avoir un œil sur la liquidité de votre entreprise. Parce que c'est avec ça que vous honorez vos engagements. On va prendre un exemple. L'exemple qu'il a pris, c'est l'exemple d'une entreprise qui fait dans l'aquaculture. Donc, vous avez un grand étang de poissons, vous avez des beaux bureaux et tout. Vous réussissez même à acheter du poisson que vous mettez dans l'eau. Mais si vous n'avez pas de quoi les nourrir tous les jours, si vous n'avez pas l'argent pour les nourrir tous les jours, les poissons vont mourir. Donc, chaque temps que vous irez acheter des poissons et vous allez mettre dans l'étang, vous avez un bel étang, un grand étang, mais si vous ne pouvez pas les nourrir tous les jours, les poissons vont mourir. Donc, c'est pour ça qu'on dit, faire des ventes, ça dépend de votre ego. C'est important et très important. Il faut prendre soin de cela. Maintenant, faire du bénéfice, faire du profit, c'est raisonnable parce que c'est ça qui permet de maintenir l'activité. Mais avoir du cash de temps en temps pour pouvoir honorer ses engagements, c'est le must, c'est ce qu'il vous faut parce qu'en dehors de ça, vous ne pouvez pas honorer vos engagements au quotidien et c'est la totale. Donc, voilà ce qu'on pourrait partager sur ce point-là. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Então, ainda falando em relação ao fluxo de caixa, o que é importante? Aqui tem uma frase do Alan Wirth que diz que a receita é vaidade, o lucro é sanidade, mas a caixa é o rei, porque a caixa que realmente faz o negócio. O Chagun deu o exemplo de, imagina que vocês estão no negócio de criação de peixe, tu podes comprar um monte de peixe e sentir-te vaidoso, porque eu tenho um monte de peixe, quer dizer que eu sou rico, supostamente, no negócio. Mas se não tiveres a caixa, não tiveres o dinheiro para comprar a comida para alimentar o peixe, o que é que vai acontecer? O peixe vai morrer e o negócio vai acabar por enfraquecer. Portanto, é o fluxo de caixa que vai entender onde baixar o vosso ego e poder trabalhar na linha segura. Ok? Não se esqueçam de assinar a lista de presença. Chagun, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. I think now we're 45 minutes in. If you're still with me, please, I can see the chat, just say yes, yes. Let me show you we're together on this. I'm going to move now to your assignment. So I'm going to skip every other thing I wanted to present to you to go to help you because I know you have expectations, right? You have assignments. I'm going to skip everything and go straight into what is known as financial forecasting, right? Now, remember this. TEF expects you to give a financial document to them. The financial document you'll be creating for them is not based on what you've done. It's based on what you intend to do. It's based on you having doing a proper research. And the only way you can get these numbers is you've done a proper research. You've gone to the market, you've looked at your cost, you've looked at the cost of hiring people, right? When you've done all your entire market research, market engagement, they expect you to come and put it in a document that they specifically and specially prepared for you, in order to be able to forecast and know how your business ought to fare, all things being equal. And I'm going to go straight to that. I mean, we have less than 45 minutes. Let me avoid doing what I want to do and let me go into that which will help you so that you can collect that big money from our Oga Tony Lumelu, right? Now, all of you, and I don't know if you've gotten this, a point will come where these documents would be shared with everybody. They're expected to fill these documents and return back to the foundation, right? I'm going to show you how it will be filled, but Foucault, maybe you can interpret before I go straight into this.
Okay, thank you, Chagun. Can you go back, please, for the previous slide? Ok, donc nous allons vous expliquer en fait comment est-ce que ça se passe concrètement, par où commencer, quelles sont les bonnes pratiques. Ce qu'on vous recommande, c'est quoi? C'est de commencer petit, mais déjà il faut commencer. Parce que pour remplir ce tableau, c'est l'exercice qu'on va faire maintenant, le tableau Excel, que la fondation met à votre disposition afin que vous puissiez remplir et retourner la fondation. Vous devez savoir que ce tableau à remplir ne dépend pas de votre activité, ça dépend des résultats que vous devez retourner à vos actionnaires, aux destinataires de vos comptes. Donc, il est question de commencer déjà, c'est important. Et généralement, on a cité un exemple d'outils comme QuickBooks, comme Sage, comme FreshBook, Xerox, SAP Business One. Donc, c'est un ensemble d'outils en ligne qui peut vous aider à faire les projections financières. Et il est aussi important pour vous, en cas de nécessité, de faire recours à des consultants, à des comptables, bref, à des personnes spécialisées qui connaissent bien la finance d'entreprise. N'hésitez pas dans cela. Donc, ayez l'habitude de bâtir tout ça et surtout de payer vos taxes à travers ces calculs que vous avez faits. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Ok, antes de entrarmos na parte prática, que segue aqui alguns bons hábitos a se seguir, ok? Comecem pequeno, mas comecem. Há muitos livros, muitas ferramentas online gratuitas que vocês podem usar para organizar a vossa finança. Aí o Wall, o Shank, o QuickBooks, o Zoho, enfim, tantos outros. Procurem um contabilista. Não que pode ser que vocês não tenham dinheiro para pagar um contabilista a tempo inteiro, mas um consultante que vos possa fazer, vos dar apoio pontual. Criem o hábito de pagar os vossos impostos. Isso para vos ajudar a ter a sanidade financeira. Ok? Shagun, over to you.
Okay, so yes, let's go into the book itself. Now, I've seen in the chat, everybody said this document has been shared. Now, this document is a very interesting document. If you follow my arrow, there is instruction that shows you what to do. There are assumptions, there's an income statement, there's a balance sheet, there's a cash flow statement, and the summary. Now, the foundation has gotten a consultant to create this book, and you basically not have to make any changes in your income statement. You would not have to do anything in your balance sheets. You will not have to do anything in your cash flow statement. In fact, these documents are locked. The only place where you're allowed to make changes on these documents is on your instruction page and your assumption page. Now, your instruction page, the only change you need to make is to just type in your name. In this case, my name is Shagun Malegemi, right? Your company number, your company name. Right now, I work for Oranos Technologies, right? And then your email, whatever your email might be, all you have to do is just type it in. That is the only thing you need to do on the instruction page. Foko, do you want to go through that quickly?
OK, donc, les tableaux, le fichier Excel qu'on va vous remettre, c'est un fichier qui a été fait par des experts. Et vous devez savoir qu'il y a des zones à remplir et des zones à ne pas remplir. De toute façon, je pense que c'est bloqué. Donc, par exemple, la zone du bilan, balance sheet, vous n'avez rien à faire là-bas. Il n'y a rien à modifier là-bas. La zone du profit and loss, dans la zone de compte de résultat, vous n'avez rien à y faire. La zone du cash flow, des tableaux de trésorerie, vous n'avez rien à y faire, ainsi de suite. Le seul endroit où vous devez modifier des choses, c'est le tableau des hypothèses ou assumptions. C'est le tableau des hypothèses et le tableau des paramètres, là où vous devez inscrire vos noms, votre nom. Par exemple, vous devez inscrire votre nom, le nom de la société et votre email. Donc, il n'y a que 2 onglets dans ce fichier Excel que vous pouvez modifier. Le reste sera automatique. On va donc vous montrer, continuer à vous montrer comment ça se remplit. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Então na prática, vocês já têm todos esse modelo financeiro que foi partilhado convosco por e-mail. Esse modelo aqui, vocês só têm duas tabelas, ou dois, como é que se diz, tabs que vocês devem preencher, ok? Que é o da instrução, onde vocês devem pôr os vossos dados, o dado da vossa empresa, e na tabela das suposições, onde vocês vão preencher. Todo o resto é resultado automaticamente calculado, tem fórmulas aí, vocês não devem mexer. Portanto, só estas 2 partes, ok? Lembre-se. Shagun vai levar-nos para o resto da... Shagun, over to you.
Now, once you've done that, the next thing is just to click on this and it take it straight to your assumptions. Now, this is where you'll be doing most of the work, right? From the assumption, you see that you can click, you notice that you can click on the site, but don't get into this, don't get yourself confused. Just leave it. All you have to do is focus on your assumption page, right? All right. You can either go to it from the side or you go to it from the bottom. So on your assumption page, this is where you do most of your work. Take note of this. If you read this, there's an instruction at the very top. Input data in cells colored like this. And any cell that has this color, it means you're not expected to make changes. For example, over here, I can't make changes in this part of the document. No, I can make changes in all these parts. I can't make changes over here, right? I can make changes here, because if you look at the color, I can make changes here, but I can't make changes here. All this is locked. I can make changes over here. I can make changes at the top, right? But I can't make changes in these boxes that are dark colored. I think this is very, very important for everybody to take note of, right? Do not even try to make changes in these cells. Only make changes in the cells that are light colored, right? for you? Foco, please, can you just share that very quickly?
Ok, donc une chose importante que vous devez noter, c'est un programme, tout a été programmé. Donc remarquez déjà que le seul endroit que vous devez remplir, je vous ai dit, c'est la zone des instructions et la zone des assumptions. Assumptions, c'est les hypothèses, la longueur des hypothèses. Alors, quand vous êtes dans la longueur des hypothèses, il y a une chose que vous devez aussi distinguer, deux couleurs. Il y a là où les couleurs sont plus sombres, sont plus grisées. Là-bas, vous n'avez rien à modifier, c'est indiqué en haut. Que là où c'est grisé, vous n'avez rien à modifier. Mais là où c'est plus clair, c'est là où vous pouvez modifier certaines choses. Donc, ce qu'on vous a montré les différentes zones. Vous devez donc distinguer deux zones. La zone où vous pouvez mettre vos éléments, vos inputs, vos données, et la zone où vous n'avez rien à modifier. Ça sort seul automatiquement. Là-bas, il y a des formules. Et je pense que c'est bloqué, vous ne pouvez pas y saisir. Donc, ne venez pas vous plaindre que vous n'avez pas saisi à tel endroit ou tel endroit. Non, il y a là où vous devez saisir. On va vous expliquer la suite. Nadia.
Thanks, Foco. Portanto, nós já preenchemos a página da instrução, nós vemos a página das suposições. Aqui, muita atenção, vocês só devem preencher aqui as células claras, que estão em branco, okay? As brancas, aquelas que estão cinzentas, e o cinzento escuro, o cinzento claro, vocês não devem preencher nada, porque, de novo, é calculado automaticamente. Há fórmulas por detrás disto que tudo vai calcular. Se vocês preencherem só as partes que estão em branco, como vem aqui, algumas partes têm o menu suspenso para país, moeda e por aí. Vocês se preencherem esse lado, vocês vão ver que no lado cinzento vai calcular automaticamente, vai aparecer resultados. Portanto, não tentem mexer naquele lado. Já houve quem questionou, não tem que mexer ali, só nas partes, nas células brancas, ok? Chegam, over to you.
Fantastic. So I'm going to start from the top and I'm going to fill it. I need you all to just follow me as closely as possible. Now, there are sections. There's A section, there's B section, and on to the bottom. Please always just start from the top because it makes it easy for you to know what you've done and you've not done. Now, the first part you're meant to fill in is your country, business country. What country am I operating from? Now, TEF supports people in many countries across Africa. Just go to your country. Somewhere in there, you'll see my country. Now, I am talking from Nigeria, right? So all I have to do is now look for Nigeria, right? And fill it there. Once I fill it, I can move on to the next part, right? So I fill in Nigeria, it changes my currency to Naira. Now, for some of you who do international business, you might say, oh, no, I don't want my currency to be in Naira. The next thing you do, you're allowed to change between either your local currency or your US dollar, which is like an internationally accepted currency, right? Default currency for transactions. In this case, I'm fine dealing in Naira, my company deals in Naira, and I leave it there. The next thing you're meant to do is talk about your business products and your business product service. So this is not a long description. This is maybe what I sell. For example, if I am a shoemaker and I say I make shoe type 1, shoe type 1, shoe type 2, shoe type 3. That's all that is required from you, right? Not too much information, right? Not a description of what each is. You know the description, the foundation believes you know. You prepare a business document that will explain this to them, or you need to just, what is the name of the product? For some of you, it is maybe the first thing you sell is beans, the next thing is rice, the next thing is gari. In some of you, maybe you sell iPhones, or you sell phones, you sell laptops, it could be anything. Just describe your top 3 products. Now you can have 1 million products. All the foundation expects you to do a forecast on is your top 3 forecasts, most important product lines, and just write it there and leave it. The next thing they expect you to do is your company tax rates. Now, this vary country by country. For example, in Nigeria, as a matter of fact, I know the tax rates in Nigeria, personal income taxes, some about 30%, 24%. Some countries it is 15%, some countries it's 40%. Go online, you're expected to go and find out what is the company tax in your country and just input it there. All you have to do is do the number and ensure that it shows you percentage at the bottom, at the end of it, right? Next is your bank interest rate. Now, these vary country by country. For example, in Madagascar, the tax rate there is between 9.5 and 10%, In Nigeria, currently, they increase it to about 18.7 from 2.25%. Whatever your country tax is, all your country bank interest rate is just type it there. From now, in case I said, okay, Nigeria is about 18.7. All you do is just, this is the interest rates from my country. Press enter, I'm done with that. Don't worry about the abbreviation, just don't worry, just move forward. Inflation rate, what's the inflation in your country? In some countries, it is not very good. And well, there's very little we can do about that. Businessmen, we still have to do business in our country, right? In some countries, it is very good. It is single digits. All you have to do is go online, use Google. Google is your friend, or go and meet your friend who is an accountant or a consultant and say, what is the inflation rate in the country? In this case, I'm just going to put 18. Now you look at all of it is in percentage, right? The next thing you do is per country, and this is based on accounting standard. Depreciation, usually, now the foundation has put some default numbers, which is based on the experience with different countries. You might say, oh, my building is not 5%, my building depreciates 10% per annum, which means that it loses value by 10% every year. And all you do is include, you're allowed to change the numbers. I'm going to return it back to 5, but take note of it. What is the depreciation rate to your country for your buildings, for your furnitures, for machineries, for vehicles? In Nigeria, you use a vehicle for 5 years, so it is 20% every year is lost. In some places, in some banks, they say, oh, we change vehicle every 3 to 4 years. In that case, it means that depreciation is higher, slightly higher, right? 30%. And then for installation, what is depreciation? All you have to do is input it there. Once you're done with that, you can move to the next stage. Foko, over to you, please.
OK, thank you, Chegun. Donc, pour le remplissage, on va vous l'expliquer point par point. À commencer par le choix du pays. Vous devez choisir le pays. Présentement, ce qui affiche à l'écran, c'est Nigeria. Si vous êtes du Cameroun, vous allez aller là-bas, cocher Cameroun. Et quand vous allez cocher le pays, automatiquement, la monnaie va changer. Maintenant, vous avez le choix. Soit vous utilisez la monnaie locale, la monnaie de votre pays, et ça va vous servir jusqu'à la fin, sans plus changer. Soit vous choisissez d'utiliser le dollar, parce qu'on sait que le dollar, c'est une monnaie internationale qui permet qu'on comprenne facilement la comparaison par rapport à votre pays. Ça, c'est la première chose. Donc, remplissez le pays et ça, automatiquement, la monnaie va sortir. Tout est déjà programmé. Deuxième chose, c'est le choix de vos produits ou de vos services. On ne vous demande pas d'écrire de longs titres ou bien de vous embrouiller. Non, tout ce qu'on vous demande, c'est par exemple, si vous êtes un fabricant de chaussures, vous mettez juste chaussures type 1, chaussures type 2, chaussures type 3. En fonction des analyses que vous allez faire, on vous l'a dit, président, vous devez faire des analyses. En fonction des analyses que vous allez faire pour votre projet, en fonction de la compréhension de votre projet, parce qu'il faut dire qu'il y a une partie narrative où vous décrivez le produit, vous décrivez les salaires et tout ça. C'est ça qui va vous servir à remplir la partie financière qu'on est en train de vous montrer là maintenant. Au fort des analyses que vous avez déjà faites sur votre projet, c'est clair qu'il vous devient facile de pouvoir découper votre entreprise en 3 produits principaux. Ça peut être les produits principaux ou bien vous faites une synthèse de vos produits de façon à distinguer 3 produits principaux. Comme on a dit, produit type 1, produit type 2, produit type 3. Maintenant, pour les taux. La Fondation vous permet aussi à travers ce programme de programmer tous les taux. Les taux dépendent des pays. Le premier taux, par exemple, c'est l'impôt sur les sociétés. Corporate tax rate, c'est l'impôt sur les sociétés. Ça dépend des pays. En fonction de votre pays, vous devez mettre le taux qui équivaut. Au Cameroun, par exemple, c'est 33% ou 28,5%. Ça va dépendre du chiffre d'affaires. Et ça change de toute façon. Souvent, il arrive régulièrement que ça change. Le taux d'intérêt bancaire, vous devez mettre le taux d'intérêt bancaire applicable dans votre pays ou en fonction de votre business. Quel est le taux que vous êtes prêt à négocier avec le banquier? Vous mettez donc le taux d'intérêt bancaire et si on a mis 19%. Le taux d'inflation, comme c'est dans les 54 pays, vous pouvez vous entendre en fonction vous pouvez vous entendre pour le taux d'inflation de votre pays. Google est votre ami. Allez sur Google et cherchez à savoir quel est le taux d'inflation. Et comme la fondation, c'est par pays, vous pouvez vous accorder dans chaque pays pour avoir le même taux d'inflation. Pour finir, on a maintenant le taux des amortissements. Vous devez savoir que les amortissements, il y a des taux par défaut que la fondation a mis, mais vous pouvez modifier. Par exemple, les constructions, généralement, c'est 5%. Ça veut dire que quand vous construisez un bâtiment, l'État permet, la fiscalité permet que vous puissiez l'amortir sur 20 ans. Et 20 ans, ça correspond à 5%. Les fournitures, les équipements, tout ça, il y a des taux requis. Les véhicules, généralement, une voiture doit être amortie comptablement et fiscalement sur 5 ans. Ce qui fait que le taux peut vous donner donc 20%. Et pour finir, les installations, vous devez apprécier et laisser 10% ou modifier. Ça dépend, mais dans tous les pays, la fiscalité donne les taux légaux d'amortissement. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Ok, então, como é que começamos a preencher esta tabela? A primeira coisa a fazer é selecionar o país. Vocês, quando selecionaram o vosso país, a moeda local vai aparecer aqui. Okay? Se selecionar Santo Tomé, vai aparecer aqui dobras, e Angola, Kwanza e por aí. Se vocês quiserem mudar a moeda, a outra moeda aceitável é o dólar. Também, portanto, podem selecionar o dólar americano. Ok? Como é uma moeda internacional para negócios, ela é aceitável. Aqui, em termos de produtos ou serviços que vocês pretendem vender, vocês têm a opção, vocês podem ter N produtos, N serviços, mas quer que vocês escolham os vossos top 3. Quer dizer, os melhores 3, é que vocês vão, todas as suposições que vêm daqui, vão basear-se em 3 melhores produtos. No caso do Chegun, ele disse, imagina que ele faz sapatos, então ele sapato tipo 1, sapato tipo 2, sapato tipo 3. Ok? Depois, há aqui mais dados que vocês devem preencher, que para isso vocês têm que fazer pesquisa. Para vocês trabalharem nisso, vocês realmente têm que fazer bastante pesquisa de mercado, pesquisa local. Por exemplo, vocês têm que saber qual é qual é o imposto que vocês, valor de imposto no vosso país. Vocês têm que saber qual é o valor do o banco, a taxa de juros dos bancos. Têm que saber a inflação. Pesquisem, ou procurem no Google, perguntem algum amigo, alguém que seja contabilista, enfim. Busquem ali, vocês buscarem o que é depreciação, seja depreciação para o edifício ou depreciação para equipamento, mobiliários, enfim. Seja tudo isso, toda essa informação está disponível. Vocês só têm que pesquisar de acordo com os vossos países, porque depende de país para país, ok? Chegun, over to you.
Okay, so we're going to have to go faster because of time. And I'm sure many of us are saying, how much faster can we go? Well, Foucault and Nadia, you help me go faster on this, right? Now, if you look at it on this sheet, now we finished with section 1, we've come to section B. Section A, we're now in section B, right? If you look at it, the shoe type 1, shoe type 2, shoe type 3, you see that the sheet has already updated, which is why it's important that you don't change any information that you shouldn't, right? Only make changes in the cells that have been given to you. Now, what are you expected to do? You're meant to talk about your sales volume. In this section, you're meant to talk about your sales volume and your price. And I'll explain it to you. For example, in year 1, let's assume you sold 10. How much increase do you expect to make in year 2 compared to year 1? If you know the increase, let's say you're doing a 10%, all you have to do is just come and write 10. That's all. It will show in percentage. That's all is expected. If in year 3, you're saying, oh, I would increase my shoe price by now 10%, all you have to do is put what? 10. It's 10 over there, and it says updates. If you're saying, oh, in year 3, I would have reduced my cost of production because now I'm a big fryer, I have a bigger factory, things are optimized. Maybe I will not increase my shoe. Maybe I would be able to do 30% shoe sales or more than the previous year. All you have to do is just write it 30 and you move on and on. And you're meant to do it for about 10 years, right? If it's too hard for you, and I'll probably get permission from the school on your behalf, you should be able at least be able to do a forecast to your 5th year. But if they don't, I'll accept it. Please do your forecast to your 10th year. So don't say because of me, you're not collect your TEF fund, right? So on and on, how much volume would it increase? By year 4, maybe I'm now a big fry. That 30% I've picked in my factory production. Between year 3 and year 4, maybe I'll do another 10% increase. You put it there. By year 5, maybe less, you put it there. By year 6, you say, oh, and that's what's expected for you to do in your, repeat after me, your sales volume. Now, for your price, begin to ask yourself, how would you increase your price? Let's say in year 1, your shoe price was 100 naira. In year 2, you say, well, I will add another, because I'm trying to win my customers, I'll just increase my price by 5%. The next year, well, I increased by another 5% because of the cost of my loans. By my 4th year, I'm a big fry, I'm going to be able to, and I have some bit of monopoly. I'm going to increase my shoe price by maybe 50%. All you have to do is just input that information there. In year 6, okay, year 4, maybe I'm going to increase. I've picked, I don't want to now make it too much. I increase my shoe price again by maybe 5%. Year 6, year 5, I'm not increasing my shoe price. I'll leave it at 0. You're allowed to do this. Now, you're going to do this for your first product, your second product, and your third product. Now, should I say this? If you have only one product you are selling, you can leave all this area blank. You don't have to fill anything if you're not, it's not by force, right? If you're not pushing out 3 different product streams that are giving you money, you can leave it there. If you're doing more than 3 different kind of products, please, all you have to fill in is your top 3 products. Now, the same way you've talked about your revenue, you now start talking about your costs. So by how many percent do you think your cost would increase year on year? Again, if I could say, oh, my cost of production might increase drastically because I'm expanding by 50%, notice direct cost, by maybe 10% in year 1, 10% year 2. Remember that everything we're talking about here is forecast. So you should be able to, it is just about you doing your best to show how the business would run. So take note of that. Year 3, remember again, you built a factory, you're expanding. Therefore, your direct cost obviously would also increase drastically, right? And on and on. So you feel this in your direct cost. Now, direct cost, remember I said, is the cost of every cost associated with production. So what happens is that somebody at the foundation edge, foundation side will say, if you are drastically increasing your volumes and your direct cost is not increasing, something is wrong. So take note of that. Again, same thing for salary. How do you want to increase salary for your workers? Are you going to be giving them 100% salary increase year on year? Or are you going to be doing it by 10% every year or by 5% every year? All you have to do is increase it. If you're saying you're not increasing the salary, you can put 0. If you say you're doing a 100% salary increase, you can just put it there. It's fine. You know your business best and you feel it. Your rent, maybe you have a long rent agreement, right? Begin to ask yourself things like, how my landlord will probably not increase my rent for the next 2-3 years. And then by the 3rd year, based on what happens in your country, he does it by 10%. And, for a 4th year, maybe it doesn't increase again. Or you move to a new location, and then your new location, your rent increases by 50% from what you are paying previously. You need to fill in all this information. Same thing for utilities. Utilities is the cost, and it's written here, for those of you who don't understand, utilities is your cost of electricity, water, gas, internet, telephone usage. That's your utility. If you're the kind of person that you're into marketing is all your marketing costs. In year 1, you could say, I'm going to spend, between year 1 and year 2, you could say, I'm going to do a 50% increase in my marketing, and then another 50% in my marketing in year 3. And then in my year 4, I'm saying, okay, I already have market dominance. I'm not increasing it so much, but by 10%. All you're expected to do in this section for administration, maintenance, insurance, transportation, and licenses is to show year in, year out by how much percent it would increase from the previous year. Over to you, Foko.
Oui, après avoir rempli la première session sur les paramètres pays, nous allons maintenant remplir les taux de croissance, très important. Nous allons maintenant remplir les taux de croissance. Donc, je suis en train de dire que nous allons remplir les taux de croissance, à commencer par le taux de croissance des revenus de vos ventes. Par exemple, on a dit pour les chaussures de type 1, tout ce qu'on vous demande, c'est de remplir sur 10 ans ce qui va évoluer. Est-ce que par rapport à ce que vous avez vendu, vous avez prévu de vendre la première année, est-ce que dans l'année 2, ça va évoluer de 10%? Vous mettez 10%. Est-ce que dans l'année 3, par exemple, ça va évoluer de 20%? Vous mettez 20%. Donc, l'évolution, c'est par rapport à l'année de départ. Et ainsi de suite, vous programmez sur 10 ans. Ça, c'est pour, par exemple, les chaussures de type 1. Notez bien cela. Maintenant, on ne vous oblige pas à avoir 3 produits. Et si vous avez plus de 3 produits, dans une formation, et ce qu'on attend de vous, c'est d'avoir le bon sens. S'il vous plaît, vous devez avoir le bon sens et jouer au jeu de ce concours ou de cette compétition du TIF qu'on est en train de faire avec vous. Ce qui est valable pour les chaussures et pour les produits, vous allez continuer cela à travers tous les autres coûts. On a par exemple les coûts directs, on a les salaires, on a les locations, on a les utilities. Utilities, c'est tout ce qui est donc, on a aussi tous les coûts marketing. Autant faire la programmation pour les produits tels qu'on vous a indiqué, autant vous devez aller remplir le taux de croissance de chaque charge année après année et sur les 10 ans. Et retenir en fonction de la programmation que vous avez fait, il y a un bon sens et de la continuité dans votre raisonnement. C'est pour ça que c'est bien de bien faire la partie narrative de votre business plan tel qu'on vous l'a appris. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Então, continuando a preencher agora na secção 2, onde nós vamos falar do volume de venda e dos preços, ok? Então, se vocês notarem, logo que ele colocou aí o sapato tipo 1, tipo 2, tipo 3, isso automaticamente apareceu aqui escrito. Portanto, não foi necessário escrever de novo. Aqui onde aparece a receita, já vem o sapato tipo 1, tipo 2, tipo 3, quer dizer, automático. E depois aqui, o que é que nós vamos ver? Ano após ano, o que ele vai fazer é assumir o que é que vai acontecer com o preço do seu produto, com o custo do seu produto. Ele olha para o produto e diz assim, olha, no primeiro ano, no segundo ano, eu não vou elevar em nada o custo do produto. Ou eu vou no primeiro ano, aumentar em 10%. Ok, 10%. No segundo ano, eu vou aumentar também só 10% no valor de venda do sapato, porque eu ainda estou a conquistar o mercado. Mas já no terceiro ano, olha, eu acho que eu já estou um bocado conhecido, que eu estarei um bocado conhecido, eu já poderei aumentar mais o valor do meu sapato, em vez de vender a um preço, eu vou aumentar 30% o valor da venda. E assim sucessivamente. Portanto, vocês têm que se questionar e avaliar e dizer o que é que pode influenciar. É porque eu tornei mais conhecido, ou porque há mais necessidade desse produto, ou porque eu assumo que daqui a 2 anos vai haver mais procura do meu produto, do meu serviço. Então, é baseado nessas considerações, essas suposições que vocês estimam em quanto por cento vai aumentar o vosso custo, em quanto por cento vai aumentar os vossos custos diretos, os vossos custos, outros custos, como, por exemplo, o custo das utilidades, o custo da renda. Se assumir que eu estou agora a pagar a renda, mas daqui a 2 anos eu não terei que pagar a renda, então eu sei que aquilo vai cair para 0%. No entanto, se eu assumo que daqui a 2 anos o senhorio vai aumentar a renda de certeza, porque ele vai ver que eu estou a fazer dinheiro, ele vai aumentar a renda, então eu estimo uma percentagem para colocar aqui. Portanto, vocês têm que tentar imaginar os fatores que influenciarão e, baseado neles, fazer essas suposições que aqui estão, em percentagem, tá bom? Chego,
Okay.
over to you.
Thank you very much. We have about 10 minutes more, and I think I would ask for permission from the team to extend this call because we still have a few a few things to discuss. Now, let me move on. Take notes. I'll just say this quickly. Yeah, your increase is not from year one. Your increase between your previous year. So the question, I said a question about where do we base this 10% from? Is it from year one? So we are talking about year 4. Are you going to base it based on increase from year 1? And no, it's not increase from year 1, it's increase from year 3. So how much increase from year 2 would you have in year 3? And that's what you base it on. But I'll move forward quickly. The next thing is section C. Section C is your startup costs. Now, this is at this point, you now start talking about money, actual figures, right? Startup cost refers to the initial cost of setting up the business. And there are sections that the company that the consultants have given us for us to fill. And that is the cost of land. Now, it's not everything you need to fill. You just need to fill everything that pertains to your business, right? Now, when you start up, how much of your capital cost you allocate to buying a land? If you're not buying a land, all you simply do is put 0 naira and move on. Do not disturb yourself. If you're not building any building, all you have to do is put 0 and move on. If you are going to be setting up a building or you're going to be acquiring a farmland, you put it there very clear and say, okay, I'm buying a land for 10 million naira and you move 1 million naira and you move on, right? If, for example, you are renting the land for farming, if you're in agri business, you're not buying a land, so you don't put any amount for there. You know what you do? You come over here and then you put it in your rent. And I'll explain where you put it in rent in the next, that is rent, that is not acquisition of land. If you're going to be buying furniture, you put the amount of all the furniture you buy. If you're not, you simply put 0 and you move on. If you're buying equipment, you know, I have a shoe factory, I'm buying equipment, you put in the cost of all the equipment you'll be buying, and then you move on. You notice it's part of the sales that you're not meant to touch are being updated automatically. Take note of that. Vehicles, if you're going to be buying vehicles, you put it there. If you're going to be using transportation and renting, please do not put anything there. Then the cost of installation, if you're going to be buying internet services and someone has to come and install it, you can put the amount there, right? Again, this document is meant to help as many people as possible. Some part might pertain to you, some part do not. Just take note of that. Next thing is at the bottom. Now, this is automatically computed, right? Right. Open inventory, right? Initial working capital and contingencies, right? All you have to do, because this is in gray, I do not feel anything here. All I have to do is just come and click on this, and I say I need 4 months worth of direct costs as my open inventory, right? Is the drop down you fill. It's the other things that are taken care of on your behalf. So initial working capital, how much working capital do you want to have before you start the business? Some people say they want 12 months, some people say they want 6 months. All you have to do is fill those cells and you move on. It automatically calculates the amount for you and you can move forward. Over to you, Foko. I think that's everything on section C. Foko, you can please take over.
OK, thank you, Segun. Donc, nous allons maintenant passer à l'explication sur les coûts de démarrage. Vous devez savoir que tout à l'heure, on a fait les taux de croissance. Maintenant, c'est ici que vous allez mettre les différents montants. Par exemple, le terrain. Si pour votre projet, vous allez acheter du terrain, venez remplir. Là, il a rempli 1 million de naira. Donc, venez remplir le montant du terrain. Mais si par contre, vous pensez que vous allez plutôt louer, ici, vous devez mettre le montant 0. Et là où plus haut, là où on a mis le taux de croissance de location, vous devez aller indiquer le taux de croissance de location et ça va se gérer automatiquement. Même chose pour les constructions, même chose pour les équipements, les véhicules et tout. Remplissez le montant. Tout à l'heure, on l'a bien précisé. Parce que vous avez déjà fait la partie narrative de votre projet, vous avez analysé, vous avez lu les cours, les PowerPoint, vous avez fait les cours qui sont facultatifs. On suppose qu'ici, vous maîtrisez bien votre projet. Parce que la finance, c'est impossible de faire la finance si vous ne maîtrisez pas votre projet. Vous avez aussi remarqué que les parties grisées se remplissent seules. Là, c'est ce qui est indiqué en rouge. Les parties grisées se remplissent seules. Vous n'avez pas besoin d'aller là-bas remplir. Maintenant, au niveau des inventaires, ça c'était au niveau des investissements. Au niveau des inventaires, vous n'avez aucun montant à remplir, juste indiquer le nombre de mois. Vous cliquez le nombre de mois et vous verrez que c'est suffisant. Que ce soit le nombre de mois pour le stock d'inventaire au départ, le stock au départ, ça c'est les inventaires. Le stock au départ, vous mettez aussi le montant du fonds de roulement que vous voulez et toutes les contingences. Donc voilà, là-bas, ça se remplit juste en termes de délai. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Ok, então, na secção C, olha-se os custos de início, custos de arranque. Basicamente, o que vocês devem fazer, aqui está no geral, é uma lista de custos, mas lembre-se que esse documento foi feito para gerar toda a gente. Não quer dizer que tudo que vocês têm que preencher com um valor. Por exemplo, se vocês não vão comprar terreno no início do vosso negócio, vocês põem zero ali, quando tem o terreno. Mas, se não vão construir, põem zero onde está o custo da construção. Portanto, esse documento em geral, vocês adaptam consoante o vosso próprio caso, ok? E atenção que aqui a parte, o cinzenta escura, não, vocês não têm que fazer nada, vocês só têm que selecionar aqui no menu, menu que cai, e vocês automaticamente o valor é estimado aqui em termos de inventário de abertura do início do negócio, a contingência e por aí, ok? Então, boa sorte a todos. Shagun, over to you.
Okay, so quick one. I'm just going to double back for my English-speaking audience. I just noticed that this place is not highlighted, but please take note, you're meant to fill it in. This is your opening inventory. So for example, when you start the business, how much worth opening inventory for definition purposes is how much worth of goods would you buy when you want to open your shop. For example, assuming, and I'll give an instance, I'm assuming I have a pharmaceutical company. Now, how much worth of drugs will I buy into the pharmacy as medication? Now that's the amount. So for example, I'm going to spend 5 million to stock up. All I have to do is just put the 5 million there. The next thing is your initial working capital, right? So for example, if your opening inventory is 5 million, initial working capital is that cash flow you're keeping on the side, to buy whatever you want to buy outside the opening inventory. Now that you can put it, in this case, I'll just put 1 million, right? And then your contingencies, how much do you want to put on the side in case of any emergency? All you have to do is remember, work on the drop down. In this case, it's the drop down you're working on. You don't have to put anything there, just work on the drop down, and it automatically computes it for you. Please just take note of that. We can go straight to section D. Section D is where you now start talking about your resources, right? For this section sheet, see the suggestion I made, I'm going to discuss with the school and I'll come back to you. So I'll just skip that, right? In section D has to do with your manpower, right? Your team. I mean, every successful company is dependent on the team that they have working with them, right? You begin to ask yourself, beyond salary, what other benefits will they get? Some people of you say there is pensions, there is housing allowance, there is housing funds, there is medicals, whatever it is usually calculated, obviously, against the salary, right? When you have the total percentage of the benefits, all you do here is that you add them together and you put them at the top. So 15% of the basic salary is other benefits, and you move on. The next thing is, if you look at this is a very, very beautiful sheet, right? If you look at here, it has senior management. How many senior managers do you have in the company? Again, you need to take care of it so you are not top heavy. Then you now start looking at different departments. In this case, they've broken it into business development, sales, marketing, IT, back office, and operations. In some of you's company, you are the only senior manager there, right? But in 2-3 years' time, you want to employ a COO or a CFO. You need to take note of that in this forecast sheet. In this, you might also have, some of you don't call it business development, you call it sales. You're allowed to change the name to whatever it is. Some of you, it is field workers. You're allowed to change it based on the major departments you have. You can change the top, but take note of it. Each section represents each department in your company. I'm going to return this back to business development. The next thing you begin to ask yourself is, what is the base salary for that role? And this is where you feel it. So for example, if the base salary for the CEO is 250, or for senior management is 250, all you do there is just write 250, and then you move on. It has a way of automatically calculating. You now ask yourself, how many people are in this level? So there is number of employees, and then there's base salary. In front, you fill the base salary. On the top, you fill the number of employees per year. So if, for example, in first year, I'm the only person, I'm the only senior manager there, I put 1. Second year, I want to employ a CEO as well. You know, myself and the CEO, that's 2 of us. Third year, there is myself, there is CEO. No, I want to keep only the 2 of us. I put it there as 2. Fourth year, I am thinking about COO. I'm thinking about to employ a CFO. I'm thinking I want to employ a CMO, a CSO. By the time you have the total number, you put it at the top here, and it's 5, and on and on. With this, you begin to know how many people in senior management in your organization over the period of your forecast. In this case, per department, they've broken it down into 2. There is manager and there's the associate. Now, you don't have to fill everything. In some of use cases, it's only a manager, or in some of use cases, the senior managers report, the team report directly to the senior managers that head the departments. So there is no manager, right? All you have to do in this case is fill 0 for the part that you don't need a resource for, and then you fill the number in part that you need a resource for, right? Number of associates. In some cases, you people don't have plenty of staff, is 0, 0. In some cases, you say, no, I have 15 people who will be doing business development. All you have to put in the number per number of employees you have in that role per section. You can increase the number, you can decrease the number based on how you see your business evolving. The same thing with salary. You begin to ask yourself, how much do you want to pay senior managers? Now, in this case, senior management, I pay them 250. Maybe the manager will collect 150 naira per month, right? And then the staff, maybe they will collect 50,000 naira per month. You are meant to go and do your research, and then come and impute the number. If you notice it, it automatically calculates everything for me. It automatically calculates everything for me throughout the period of the company, right? You do this for each department in your business, and then you are done with section D of your sheet. Over to you, Foko. You can just start from the head count.
Well done, Segun. Very, very clair. Donc, pour ce qui concerne la section D, où on parle des employés, vous devez savoir, je vous l'ai dit, c'est un logiciel, c'est un programme, tout est programmé et il est question pour vous de savoir l'utiliser. À titre d'information, vous devez savoir que les années antérieures, dans les 5 premières années, par exemple, où on choisissait uniquement 1000 personnes, tant que ce tableau est mal rempli, la fondation ne validait pas votre paiement. Ça veut dire quoi? Ça veut dire qu'en fonction des remplissages, vous avez des courbes qui vont sortir ailleurs. Par exemple, dans les onglets, comme vous a dit de ne pas remplir, parce que tout est automatique, c'est une question de bon sens. Comme pour dire que prenez votre temps pour bien comprendre comment ça fonctionne et remplissez. C'est le bon sens. Et c'est une formation solide qu'on est en train de vous donner en gestion de finances des projets. Donc, concernant les salariés, vous allez donc voir les différents départements de votre projet. Les titres qui sont là sont les titres indicatifs. C'est à titre indicatif. Vous pouvez modifier les titres. Donc, dans votre entreprise, il y aura des départements, il y aura les directeurs généraux, il y aura les directeurs opérationnels, directeurs financiers administratifs, directeurs techniques, ainsi de suite. Ça dépend de vous. Vous pouvez modifier les titres. Ce qui est important et que vous devez savoir, c'est qu'il y a un espace pour mettre le salaire de base. Vous devez donc mettre le salaire de base par catégorie d'employés, tel que vous avez défini dans chaque département. Maintenant, on vous a indiqué là où on met le nombre d'employés par catégorie, année par année. Est-ce que la première année, il y a un directeur? Non. Est-ce que le directeur général sera payé pour tel montant? Oui, vous mettez le montant. Est-ce qu'il y aura un directeur général la première année? Non, vous mettez 0, vous ne mettez rien. La deuxième année, non. La troisième année, oui, vous mettez 1. Est-ce que la première année, il y aura un directeur général et un directeur commercial et un directeur financier? Oui, vous mettez dans le nombre 3. La deuxième année, est-ce qu'on va ajouter dans cette catégorie le nombre de personnes? Non, vous laissez 3. Est-ce qu'à la 6e année, il y aura déjà en termes de staff, de gestion, est-ce qu'il y aura déjà 5 ou 10 directeurs? Vous mettez exactement le nombre de directeurs avec un salaire de base commun. Voilà comment vous allez donc remplir la partie sur les salariés, sur les employés, rubrique par rubrique, département par département. Prenez la peine de changer les noms là où il faut changer. Pour devenir dans la section, c'est tout à l'heure, on avait oublié au niveau des inventaires, on avait oublié, c'est pas gris, on n'a pas mis d'insigne, mais vous devez savoir que cette section aussi, vous devez remplir le montant initial des stocks, le montant initial du fonds de roulement et le montant initial des risques ou bien des contingents, ça veut dire les imprévus, voilà, les imprévus. Vous devez les définir avant de remplir, comme on vous a dit de remplir. Donc, prenez la peine de bien suivre cette formation, même plus tard, et remplissez. Retenez que c'est un concours. Les années antérieures, tant que ce n'était pas bien rempli, la fondation rejetait les états financiers de l'entrepreneur et c'est quand il remplissait bien qu'on le payait. Pour votre cas, vous êtes très nombreux. On va simplement prendre ceux qui ont bien rempli. Vous aurez les groupes WhatsApp pour faire des échanges afin de bien connaître. Je pense que sur YouTube, il y a beaucoup de sessions où on explique comment remplir ces tableaux. Fouillez seulement bien sur YouTube les années antérieures. Merci. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Ok, pessoal. Então, a seguir, vocês têm a seção D que fala do pessoal, ok? Aqui, algumas notas rápidas, por causa do tempo, temos que ser bastante concisos aqui. Se vocês veem aqui, tem definição, tem os funcionários de administração alta, tem diretores e por aí. Vocês podem alterar isso e colocar consoante o vosso projeto, ok? Vocês têm essa liberdade de colocar. Se não tem ninguém no marketing, podem mudar. Se tem pessoas em desenvolvimento de negócio, não tem, podem mudar consoante que. E levar em consideração o bom senso, não é? Hoje eu não tenho um diretor, mas daqui a 2 anos eu terei. Então, eu tenho que, daqui a 2 anos, estimar o salário que eu terei que pagar. Se eu hoje não tenho ninguém em marketing, mas no próximo ano acho que já terei essa necessidade, então eu sei que aqui, primeiro ano eu ponho 0, no segundo ano tenho que estimar um valor para colocar aí. Usem o vosso senso comum e trabalhem nisso, façam isso entre vocês em grupos, porque é realmente difícil explicar tudo isso aqui, mas é bastante fácil. Senso comum e lembrar onde devem preencher, onde não devem preencher. Ok? Chega over to you.
Okay, so we're making progress. So I just try to fill some more information so that to make our work detailed at the end. If you're done with, again, please, I'll say this, try and read through as much details as possible. I assure you that by the time you go through your business class, you look at this document, you look at it the second time, you begin to understand it better. Or maybe when you are done, you're done filling documents, go through the video again. It will really, really help you. Okay, so operational costs. Now, this is another section, and it's easy. All you're feeling is just this part. Don't bother yourself about the rest, just this part. Now, some calculations have been done. For example, notice it, salaries and wages per year have already been calculated based on what you imputed in the top, what we imputed at the top when we were building this. Now, operational cost, there are 2 sections. There's direct cost and then the fixed cost. The direct cost is everything that has to do with you producing or with your production. And remember, I gave the example of shoes. I have to buy raw materials. I have to buy leather. I have to buy sole. I have to buy gum. If you're into production, some of you are not into production. Some of you are into buying and selling, transactional business. It's fine. All you have to do is what is the cost of the material you buy per time, and you just impute the amount there directly. I want to buy raw materials, leather every year. Every year I spend 2 million. All I have to do is just put the amount there. It automatically fits and increases based on some other information will be supplied in this section. So this section is very, very important. It's already doing the increase based on information supplied there. This sheet is a very, very intelligent sheet. Just work with it. Direct labor. How much is my direct labor per year? All I have to do is do the base cost for my year 1. I input it, say it is what? It is, let's just say 1 million again. We can put the amount, Factory overhead is all the costs that is within the factory, such as, if you look at the bottom, the definition of it is there. Electricity, rent for the factory, maintenance, insurance. How much is your factory overhead cost as a baseline? Input it there. In this case, let's just put 500,000. Inbound transportation, and this is the cost spent, this is your expense during production. Now, inbound transportation, cost of transporting your goods within the year from the market to the warehouse, or from the farm to the warehouse, or from your customer side. Inbound, so it's directly related to your production cost. You can put it there per annum. In this case, we're just putting it 250,000, and you're done with the direct cost. Now you now start talking about the other costs. For example, annual cost. How much is your rent? Are you using a 250,000 naira shop per annum? You've already discussed it with your landlord. You know about it, right? You put the number, it automatically calculates. Now I'll show you this. Remember when we talked about rent earlier, we said, well, with our landlord, our rent did not increase in year 1, it did not increase in year 2, it did not increase in year 3. In year 4, we did a 10% increase. In year 5, we moved to a bigger space. It just calculates it for you easily. All you have to do is just put your baseline costs. Same thing for utilities. How much are you spending on utilities? How much are you spending on marketing as your baseline? How much are you spending on administrative issues, administrative things like consumables in the office, calculator, staple pin, rubber band, all those things. Cost of maintenance. If you bought a lot of machinery, how much do you use on machinery every year? Just put it there. Insurance, how much is insurance? Put it there. As much information as you can supply. You don't have to fill in everything. You just have to fill in again that which is relevant for your business. And then the sheet automatically calculates it for you over the period of your estimation. Over to you, Foko.
Thank you, Segun. Donc, nous allons maintenant remplir la section E sur les charges d'exploitation. Alors, on a distingué en deux. Il y a les charges variables et les charges fixes. Et comme on voit depuis le début, c'est important tous les taux de croissance que vous avez indiqués. Pourquoi? Parce que ici, tout ce qu'on vous demande de faire, c'est de remplir la colonne, la première colonne avec les montants. Vous verrez que la partie qui est trop grisée là, se remplit automatiquement en fonction des taux de croissance que vous avez indiqués au départ. Donc, tout ce qu'on vous demande, c'est de dire quel est le montant de base de mes matières premières, quel est le montant de base du coût de la main-d'œuvre directe, quel est le montant de base des petites charges qu'on a, des consommables qu'on a dans l'exploitation. C'est tout ce qu'on vous demande de renseigner. Au niveau des coûts fixes, vous devez aussi remplir les salaires, le frais de location, le marketing, bref, la maintenance, l'assurance, le transport, tout ce qu'il y a comme charge opérationnelle au sein de votre entreprise. Les définitions sont données en bas. Il y a un petit glossaire en bas où on vous a dit ce que c'est que les charges fixes, ce que c'est que les charges variables et ce que c'est que les coûts administratifs. Donc, on vous a donné les indications afin que vous puissiez remplir de façon intelligente. Les amis, tout est automatique. Respectez seulement les règles, comme vous l'a dit. Remplissez là où c'est remplissable. Là où vous ne pouvez pas remplir, ne vous plaignez pas. C'est prévu. Il y a des formules à l'intérieur et c'est protégé. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foko. Então, continuando, após Ok. Então, após a secção do pessoal, nós chegamos da secção de custos de operação. Aqui, o que é interessante é que vocês, se prestarem atenção, o que foi feito, o que foi assumido, as suposições que foram tomadas aí em cima, em termos de ano após ano, os 10%, 20%, eles todos refletem-se aqui na parte cinzenta, ok? A única coisa que tem que pôr é a linha de base. Quer dizer, a linha de base, o que eu vou olhar? Em termos de custos diretos, que há custos fixos e os custos diretos, eu vou assumir. Os custos, matéria-prima, eu vou precisar de X no primeiro ano. Automaticamente, todo o resto vai ser calculado. Em termos de despesas de fábrica gerais, em termos de salários e remunerações, eu só ponho a linha de base e todo o resto é calculado baseado nas suposições que vocês já tomaram em cima. Ok? De novo, aqui não tem ciência, é apenas prestar muita atenção, fazer com calma e revejam. Esse vídeo vai estar disponível há outros vídeos dos anos passados, sempre chegam a dar, vocês podem assistir e voltar a assistir para que vocês possam entender melhor como fazer. E também em grupos do WhatsApp, grupos de comunidades que estão a trabalhar juntos, façam isso e vocês conseguirão fazer isso. Isso não é complicado e com essas explicações aqui, acho que vocês vão sair muito bem. Okay? Chega um novo trio.
Okay, so let's continue. I know some of you it's beginning to get there where you're like, I can't keep up. It's fine. I think what I always encourage people is that if you watch the video the first time, go take a break, come back, watch it again to make sense to you. Now, the revenue is the next section. Now, unlike every other thing you've done in the past where it was per annum, this section, there's a requirement for you to do it per month. And I'll explain why, right? Revenue is broken down per month on this document because for some of you, your products are seasonal. Rainy season, you're selling. When it's dry season, you're not selling. For example, if you manufacture and you sell raincoats, in rainy season, you will sell. In dry season, you will not. Or if you're in farming, in rainy season, you're producing. After that, you're harvesting and you're selling. Different seasons. So your volume, the volume of your transaction will change based on different reasons. And they're giving some explanation down here, right? They said, let me just zoom in. It says, monthly revenue may vary due to seasonal trends, holidays, festival, discounts, promo, off-peak period, right? You're meant to be able to fill this section F based on that. So it's monthly. Now, the first section you're meant to fill, right? What is the base monthly sales volume for shoe type 1 that we have? For example, I expect to sell 50 pairs of shoes. I put that there. And I'll say, what is the cost of each pair of shoe? Each pair of shoe costs 150,000 naira. I put it there. I move on. The next thing you come is this section down here. What is the percentage of sales? Maybe in January, people are just coming back from December holidays. People are paying school fees. They will not buy so much of my shoes, right? I expect my shoe sales to be at only 20% of that, of my target. You see, there's a lot of changes there, right? February, things are picking up. It moved on to 60%. March, people are calmer. They are buying 100%. In April, there's a lot of birthdays. I expect my shoe to go as much as 150% of what it normally would do. You're allowed to do that. The sheet is made to be the document is made to be as flexible as possible. May 100%, June 100%, July, people are preparing for vacation. They don't want to spend so much. It drops to 50%. Now in August, people have traveled. Maybe it drops to 20%. September, people are assuming they need to buy shoes for their children. It goes to 50%. The document is made to be that flexible. All you do is fill it from January to December based on your seasonal forecast, and you move on. Shoe type 2, maybe it's the same thing. Maybe this one, the first one were corporate shoes. These ones are more informal shoes. I expect to sell 150 units of them. And then how much is my price? It's not too expensive. It is 85,000 naira per shoe. All I do is do that. I come again. I do the seasonal, I feel in the seasonal impact of my shoe sales, right? And then I move on. It automatically calculates it. Now, the foundation expects you to fill in your reason by your product, right? Again, this varies, depends on you. All you have to do is explain it to them so that they know that you did good work and you took time to look at your document. It automatically calculates your annual sales volume, includes the increase per year based on how you said it will increase, and then it tells you your total sales amount. Very simple, very easy to use document. I will stop there. Foko, over to you, please.
Thank you, Chegun. OK. La dernière session qu'on vous explique aujourd'hui, c'est la session sur le chiffre d'affaires, sur les ventes. Alors, c'est simple. On a tenu compte d'un certain nombre de paramètres, comme par exemple le volume, le nombre de quantités vendues. Tout à l'heure, on avait pour le cas des chaussures. Par exemple, la chaussure de type 1, quelle est la quantité qu'on peut vendre l'année de base? On dit, OK, c'est un nombre. quel est le prix unitaire? OK, c'est tel. Maintenant, ce qui se passe, c'est que les ventes varient en fonction des mois, en fonction des saisons. Alors, ce programme vous permet de gérer les saisons de vente. C'est pour ça qu'on vous a dit d'indiquer quel est le niveau de vente que vous pensez atteindre mois par mois. Si par exemple, pour le mois de décembre, quand il s'agit des chaussures, pour le mois de décembre, par exemple, on peut dire, OK, décembre, les gens portent beaucoup de chaussures parce qu'il y a beaucoup de fêtes et ainsi de suite. Vous allez peut-être mettre 90%. On pense que la bonne saison, c'est 90%. OK. Maintenant, on dit, pour le mois de mars, on dit, dans le mois de mars, généralement, les gens n'achètent pas beaucoup de chaussures, donc du coup, nous ne comptons pas beaucoup vendre. Alors, on va mettre, par exemple, 10 ou 20% d'objectifs à atteindre au mois de mars. C'est ce qu'on appelle les variations saisonnières. Et quand vous allez donc remplir ces taux-là, vous verrez qu'il y a un graphique en bas qui change et ça indique. C'est autant de choses qui permettent, lorsqu'on va évaluer vos projets, de savoir si vous avez bien travaillé ou pas. Et on vous recommande de bien suivre. Même après ce webinaire qui est en direct, ce masterclass, vous avez le temps de télécharger la vidéo et de la suivre posément afin d'être performant. Donc, voilà ce qu'on pouvait dire ce jour concernant ce point. Over to you, Nadia.
Socorro. Então, a sessão seguinte é sobre os lucros, ok? É a receita. Então, o que está aqui, como é que devem olhar? A primeira diferença é que em tudo até tudo que foi visto acima é baseado em ano, mas aqui quando se fala das receitas é baseado em meses. Por quê? Porque muita gente, muitos dos nossos produtos e serviços ou serviços são sazonais. Por exemplo, para quem está na agricultura, há altura que há meses que vende, há meses que está a cultivar. Quem imagina, quem faz, por exemplo, imagina que fabrica o guarda-chuva, ele vai vender mais guarda-chuva quando dá chuva do que na época seca. Enfim, por isso aqui a venda é estimada por meses. Essa é a única diferença em relação à parte de cima. Todo o resto é vocês assumirem ou fazerem vossas suposições baseado numa lógica que vocês realmente consigam defender e que vocês vejam. De novo, voltem a assistir isso mais tarde, com calma, assistam uma vez, assistam 2 vezes e só assim vocês poderão tirar melhor disso. Vem aqui, há vários produtos, vocês têm para produto ou serviço 1, depois tem para produto ou serviço 2, enfim, dependendo do tipo de produto e quantos produtos vocês colocaram acima. Lembra que para a fundação, 3 produtos tops devem ser considerados, produto e serviço, ok? Não há muito mais a dizer aqui, mais uma vez, boa sorte e voltem a assistir isso com calma. Chegam over to you.
Okay, guys, we're closer to the end, right? Now you're now in section G. I'm just going to do section G and F together, right? And then I, J, and we're done. Because the last part is a bit complicated and I think I can skip it for everybody. So section G, right? You can just follow, let me just zoom quickly. Is working capital. Now, this is very, very simple. This is very, very simple. Working capital is the amount of cash required to fund your day-to-day operations, right? Normally, you know, when you buy and sell, sometimes you collect the goods from your customer and you don't pay immediately, right? The number of days you have before you pay for a good is called your receivable days. Sorry, I'm switching. Let me switch that. Let me say that again. Now, sometimes you give customers goods and you don't collect money immediately, right? That's called your receivable days. If some of you, your customers pay 30 days after, some of you, they pay instant. Some of you is even paid in advance. If it's instant, all you have to do is put a 1 there. If you say, oh, I give them 5 days to pay, all you have to do is put 5 there. If you say, oh, I give it 30 days, put it there. If your payment term is 60 days after, all you have to do is put 60 days. That's the receivable days. Your payable days is number of days that your company takes before you pay your suppliers. And this is where it flips, right? Some of you collect goods before you pay. If you pay instantly, you can just put 1. If you pay after 5 days, you put it there. You pay after 30 days. Depending on what you negotiate and how good of a negotiator you are with your customers, all you have to do is just put the number there. Inventory days refers to the number of days it takes before you sell a batch of produced goods. For example, if you make shoes and as soon as you're making it, people are buying it, inventory days is 1, same day. Some of you, it takes 30 days before you sell a particular batch. All you have to do is just put the number there, right? And you can move on from section G. Section H is something slightly different. It's your startup funding. So the total capital you get to start your business, by the time you break it down, what percentage comes from where? That is what this section is all about. For example, all of you, the entire amount you're going to use to start this business is coming from the TEF Foundation. If that is so, all you have to do is just put 100% here and you're done. Once you get it right, this turns to green. Some of you said, no, I'm bringing some of my money, TEF is giving me money, 50% is coming from me. You notice it gives you an error, meaning that it is not properly done, right? And so you have to adjust, okay, I'm coming from money, 50% of money is coming from me, 50% is coming from TEF. You could put it there. Easy. Some of you say, oh no, TEF is only the amount TEF gives me is only 30% of the cost. Normally, I'm going to go and raise funds from external people. I'm going to go and raise funds and I'm going to raise 20% of my funds. You break it down. Some of you will say, no, I'm going to collect money from the bank. 40% comes from me. TEF is giving me 30% of the money. 20% is equity investor. And the remaining 10% is bank loan. All you have to do is fill that. And with that, you are done with section G and section H. Over to you.
OK, thank you, Segun. OK, pour ce qui concerne la section G et la section H, la section G concerne la gestion du fonds de roulement. Ici aussi, c'est simple. On vous a donné la possibilité de mettre 3 délais. Le délai que vous devez accorder à vos clients pour qu'ils vous payent, le délai que vous espérez que vos fournisseurs vont vous accorder pour que vous les payiez, et aussi la durée que vos matières premières ou vos produits finis, donc la durée que les stocks mettent dans votre entreprise avant d'aller chez le client, ou avant d'être transformés. Donc voilà les 3 délais qu'on vous demande de remplir. Le délai de paiement de vos fournisseurs, le délai de paiement de vos clients et la durée que les stocks mettent, la durée moyenne, tout ça ce sont les taux moyens en passant, la durée moyenne que les stocks mettent au sein de votre entreprise. Les explications sont données tout en bas. Maintenant, pour ce qui est des fonds de démarrage, donc, en fait, il faut savoir d'où viendra l'argent dont vous avez besoin pour démarrer votre entreprise. Est-ce que ça vient uniquement de la fondation? Je ne pense pas. Est-ce qu'une partie vient de ma propre épargne? Dans le cas actuel, par exemple, on a dit, OK, je m'arrête sur ce qu'il a le schéma final. On a dit, OK, 40% viendra de mon épargne personnelle, donc l'apport personnel venant de moi-même. 30% va venir de la fondation. 20% va venir de l'equity, c'est-à-dire les actions qu'on a vendues, l'ouverture de capital, voilà, le capital qu'on a ouvert. Et 10% viendra de l'endettement bancaire. Une façon de dire que vous devez vous rassurer que 100% de l'argent nécessaire pour le démarrage de votre entreprise peut venir de plusieurs sources. Ça ne vient pas uniquement de la fondation. Il faut qu'on soit clair là-dessus. C'est comme pour dire que le montant de démarrage de votre projet ne saurait être uniquement $5,000. Il y a une partie qui vient de vous-même, l'autre qui vient de l'ouverture capitale et l'autre qui vient de la dette prise à la banque. Merci. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Ok, então nós agora vamos ver a seção G e H, onde a seção G é basicamente sobre o capital de giro. O que é que nós temos aqui? Os dias a receber, os dias a pagar e o inventário em mãos. O que é que significa? Os dias a receber é que a partir do momento que eu dou o meu serviço, o meu produto ao cliente, quantos dias, em quanto tempo o cliente vai me pagar? Normalmente, se for uma venda de produto, o comércio é normalmente imediato, mas às vezes há aquelas vendas de que recebe-se em 30 dias e por aí. Em termos de, para pagamento é a mesma coisa, Inventário em mãos, dias de inventário é basicamente quanto tempo eu fico com o inventário, até quanto tempo eu tenho o suficiente para trabalhar. Ok? Nesse caso aqui, ele colocou 5 dias. Na secção H, é acerca do fonte de investimento. Aqui, a célula verde, onde está o 100%, é calculada, tem lá a fórmula, vocês não devem fazer nada. Onde vocês devem colocar é nas células acima, onde há a poupança pessoal, ou grant, ou equidade. Vocês vão olhar para aquilo, para o vosso caso, de onde é que virá o dinheiro para o vosso investimento, calculam a percentagem e colocam aqui. Vocês vão ter grant da TEF, que é 5.000, mas vão receber de outras fontes ou vão tirar do vosso bolso, onde for, vocês calculam, tendo em conta o valor total do vosso negócio, e vocês vão colocando aqui percentagem, e a percentagem final vai aparecer aqui o 100%. Se não chegar a 100%, quer dizer que está mal, prestem atenção e voltem atrás e calculem de novo. Ok? Shagun, over to you.
Fantastic. We're almost there. We're going to wrap up very, very soon. So thank you for being patient, right? Thank you so much for being patient. Now, section I, if you notice it, some part of it have already been filled, right? And this is because we've already said that 20% of the money we need to start the business comes from equity injection. So it automatically calculates that 20% and fills it. Now, some of you are saying, remember when we talked about it, we said year 1, we are good, year 2, you are good, year 3, we now might decide to set up a new factory, right? Now, sometimes you might need to get external money to set up that factory. And notice if you're in the startup world, you hear things like, oh, Series A, Series B, Series C. What does it mean? It means that they're diluting the equity, right? And they're getting fresh equity investments. Now, that is what this is about. In this case, we are saying maybe in year 3, because we want to expand in year 4, we go and we get somebody to give us 20 million extra. All that you can very easily put into documents. So in year 4, you want to expand, or year 4, you want to expand again, you can find someone that gives you another 30 million. All that is what you include in this section I. Equity financing that you get after the first year in business. Section J, remember again, we said we're collecting a 10% debt, right? In section J, you now start saying, how will you pay back this debt facility? So year loan will be borrowed in year 1. It calculates that the payment period is over 5 years, right? So it will calculate, and the loan will end on the 6th year. All you have to do is just click on one. If you are collecting the loan in the first year, or you say, no, I have enough money first year, I want to collect the loan in the second year, all you have to do is change this. This error is because I've already selected year 1 over here. Okay, it's fine. You change this and it automatically changes, right? So year 2, you're collecting a loan. It calculates the amount that will be borrowed. It tells you, now say, how long will you pay? If you pay in 3 years, all you have to do is change this and it automatically collects it. So it says in year 2, we collected a loan. We paid over 3 years. The loan ends in year 5. That's what this is all about. If you're collecting our loan in our year, you input it there. You say how much you borrow, right? So let's assume in year 3, I had to borrow another loan. This time, I know I have to input how much I'm borrowing. Remember, I'm raising 20 million here, but I'm also borrowing another 10 million for the business, right? 10 million for the business. I'm going to repay this in 2 years' time. It automatically calculates it for me. Once you fill this, you're already done with section I, right? So I and J, very straightforward. It's all about getting funds from external parties. Foko, over to you, please.
Donc, pour ce qui concerne la section I et la section J, il est question de vous expliquer comment est-ce que vous allez gérer le financement par les actionnaires, qu'on appelle les equity, les actions. Donc, ici, vous avez remarqué qu'il y a des sections qui sont déjà remplies, tout simplement parce que dans la section précédente, vous avez indiqué les pourcentages que vous souhaitez avoir en termes de plan de financement, en termes de schéma de financement. Donc, automatiquement, certaines sections se sont remplies. Maintenant, on vous permet, ça c'était pour le démarrage, maintenant on vous permet pour les années futures d'indiquer si vous aurez besoin d'ouvrir le capital davantage dans les années qui vont suivre. Le champ est donc libre, ce n'est pas grisé, et on vous permet de remplir. Parce qu'il est question que tous vos comptes soient équilibrés et que votre plan de financement aussi soit équilibré. Vous verrez cela dans les autres onglets. Parce qu'en réalité, n'oubliez pas que nous sommes dans un simulateur. Donc, quand vous remplissez ici, vous devez aller voir dans les onglets qui ne sont pas remplissables, c'est-à-dire le compte d'exploitation prévisionnelle, le compte le tableau de cash flow, le bilan. Vous devez voir à quoi ça ressemble pour venir ajuster les montants ici. La section J dont on parle de l'endettement. Quels sont les différents types de dettes que vous voulez prendre? Vous avez juste à paramétrer l'année où vous voulez prendre la dette et la durée. Le reste se calcule automatiquement. Et vous avez la possibilité de remplir jusqu'à trois dettes, donc 3 emprunts que vous pouvez faire. Over to you, Nadia.
Thanks, Foucault. Então, finalmente, temos a seção I e J, que são seções relacionadas com financiamento. Okay? Enquanto que a seção I é financiamento por capital, a seção J é financiamento por crédito. No financiamento por capital é onde vem os grandes, né? Aqueles financiamentos que vocês não devem pagar de volta, ou aqueles financiamentos em equidade ou ações, né? Que vocês têm que ceder à empresa. E se vocês preencherem bem a seção anterior H, vocês vão notar que aqui a seção I vai estar preenchida ou parcialmente preenchida. E notar que vocês não terão que colocar nada nenhuma célula cinzenta escura. A célula mais clara, se vocês olharem no financiamento por crédito, vocês podem definir que não querem crédito no momento, mas que daqui no ano 2 ou ano 3, porque querem expandir ou porque querem chegar a outro mercado, vão requerer um financiamento. Então, é aqui que vocês devem introduzir. E depois há um cronograma que automaticamente é calculado, vocês não terão que fazer nada acerca de como fazerem pagamento desse financiamento. Tudo tendo em conta aquilo que as suposições que vocês tomaram em cima, como taxa de crédito e por aí, ok? É basicamente isso. O cinzento escuro, vocês não têm que calcular nada, tem fórmulas que automaticamente serão calculadas, vocês só devem calcular, devem preencher nas células brancas ou o cinzento claro. Shagun, over to you.
Okay, everybody, I think we've come to the end of the hard work. With this, I assure you that you can submit to TEF and whatever you do would make sense. I'll just, what has happened, I see a lot of questions, and what's going to happen is that keep your questions. Because of time, I promise you all that at the next session, I'm willing to do a 30 minutes strictly for questions and answers. I mean, I see questions like, oh, if I'm not collecting a loan, do I have to fill something? You can leave it blank. I mean, but I'll answer all the questions at the next session. With what I've done, I'm sure you would have inputted as much information as you need to input on this sheet to have your balance sheet, your income statement, and your cash flow statement. I will just show you something very quickly. Now, we worked on all these sheets, right? On only the assumption page. But look at what has happened in the income statement. It has filled everything for you. Balance sheet, it has filled everything for you. Cash flow, it has filled everything for you. Up until, again, yes, it fills it up to 10 years based on the information supplied. But for me, for example, the focus was on the first 5 years, and it has shown me that my business will be very profitable if I implement what I've written in there. It shows me that my business will be my cash flow it shows me my balance sheets. A business is growing year in, year out. And my income statement, it shows me that I am profitable. Thank you very much. And I think this is a good place for me to stop. Foucault, over to you.
Oui, chers amis, on est arrivé à la fin de la session de ce jour. Il y a beaucoup de réponses. Malheureusement, on ne peut pas répondre à ça aujourd'hui. Donc, si Guna essaie de nous montrer à quoi ça ressemble le tableau, par exemple, de compte de perte et profit, le tableau de résultats. Comme vous voyez, tout est rempli. Donc, en fonction de tout ce qu'on a mis sur l'onglet des hypothèses, vous voyez que le reste est rempli automatiquement. Là, présentement, si c'est seulement 5 ans qui est rempli, c'est parce qu'on a mis des informations seulement sur 5 ans. Mais ce qu'on va vous demander, c'est de remplir toutes les informations, de bien remplir votre colonne, votre onglet des hypothèses qu'on appelle assumption, de bien remplir et vous n'avez plus rien à faire dans les autres tableaux. Donc, merci pour aujourd'hui. À la prochaine session.
Thanks, Foucault. Ok, então, dessa forma chegamos ao fim dessa sessão. Lembrem-se, os que terão que assistir esse vídeo novamente, nas calmas, assistir 1 ou 2 vezes se for necessário. Se tiverem dúvidas de que o significado de um ou outro termo, há definições sempre em cada sessão, ok? O Chegun estava aqui a demonstrar como, após preenchermos na tabela das suposições, obtivemos resultados, olha, tudo no balancete, no fluxo de caixa, tudo apareceu, tudo automaticamente foi calculado e demonstra. É isso que deve aparecer no vosso. Se vocês preencherem bem, para os 10 anos, vocês terão esses resultados aqui, ok? Boa sorte a todos, então, apoiem-se uns aos outros, se partilhem e tudo de bom. Chegun, over to you.
All right, I think with this, I can only say thank you for your patience, everybody. I know I don't respond to all messages, but I mean, this is me online. You can reach out to me if you have issues. If it's critical, I'll respond. If I don't respond, please do not fight me. Do not, I'm begging, right? Next class, the team will try and set it up so that we can have some questions and answers. I truly, truly wish you all the best. Over to you, Adara.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for attending this session. Like Shegun had earlier mentioned, we won't have time for a Q&A session, but there will be a continuation of this session next week alongside how to develop a cohesive business plan. So we'll take our Q&A session then. Please don't forget to sign the attendance with the link below. Thank you very much.